Right now at 4 a.m., you might experience some slick roads on your commute. Southern California is waking up to another round of rain. You can see the raindrops on the camera lens here. Today's storm gearing us up for what's coming later this week.
And a setback for the Menendez brothers. The LA County District Attorney says his office will not support a new trial after all. What this means in their fight for freedom.
Today in LA at 4 starts now.
Good morning. It's Tuesday, March 11th. I'm Agent Rambulo.
And I'm Lynette Romero. We are going to get right to Belinda Leon because a lot of things are happening.
Yes, we have rain out there right now, but today's event is going to be low impact. I think at the most it's going to cause some slippery roads. It's going to be inconvenient as you get behind the wheel. Buenos dias and happy Tuesday. Here's the system, and it's pushing all that moisture inland with that counterclockwise rotation. We have light to moderate rain. The light green, that is light rain, but there are pockets where you see some yellow. That's moderate rain with higher rainfall rates, and you notice how right now we have that rain stretching from the Santa Clarita Valley through the I-5 corridor, the San Fernando Valley, all the way along the coastline to the South Bay. And I want to show you Orange County because look at all that moisture. Right now we're seeing at the coast, inland it's dry, but not for long. That rain will be moving in. The view right now from LAX showing some slippery conditions, so plan extra time this morning to get to wherever you have to go. Today's rain will be scattered. We'll have hit or miss showers, and check out the temperatures. Today is going to be cooler. We're going to have highs mostly in the 60s with the potential for that rain. But amigos, the heavier rain is still to come. In fact, we're going to have a possibility for some flooding as we get into late Wednesday through Thursday. That's when we're going to tap into a stronger storm that has the potential of bringing us flooding and also the risk of mud and debris flow. So I'll be back to time it out for you and show you what to expect. But right now, we know the weather's going to impact the roads. Here's Robin with traffic. Good morning.
Yes, for sure. Good morning. Good morning. Leave a little early since we're expecting that wet weather. Right now we're checking in on La Mirada. There's an accident that just moved off to the side. Southbound 5 near Valley View. No longer blocking. It just moved off to the shoulder. You're looking good at north and south along that stretch through La Mirada, through Buena Park. On the Downey side, it's going to be wide open. So if you're heading north, which is the commute side, it's going to be under 15 minutes to make your way from the 605 split to the 10. That's great news. No issues for the 710. It's wide open leaving Long Beach this morning. 18 minutes for the drive to the 10, and so far so good for the 605. Wide open and quiet. 18 minutes from the 405 to the 10 split. We'll peek at more freeways and drive times coming up. Back to you.
All right, thank you for that, Robin. Well, as Belinda just said, another round of rain. It's headed our way. Our First Alert radar network is tracking this storm for you, and that second batch of heavier rain that's going to be moving in.
I can see it right off the coast here, working its way north. You might see some sprinkles where you are. NBC4's Lauren Coronado's live in Malibu this morning, where it's already raining, and this is one of the several burn-scarred communities that are bracing for the impact here. Lauren, good morning.
Lynette, Adrian, good morning. We actually just got a break in rain, but it had been raining or drizzling all the way from Universal City to our way out here in Malibu. And again, just a break in rain right now. We are seeing some breezy conditions, but a lot of people have been prepping for this next round of rain. In fact, this community here along PCH at Topanga Beach Drive, they've set up a lot of sandbags. I was in this area last month during that bigger storm that we were dealing with at the time, and one of the homeowners out here tells me he set out 400 sandbags at the time. So it'll be interesting to see what his preps look like today. But he says the city made sure to get some K-rails ready for them as well to protect all the homes in this area, which many were spared by the Palisades fire, thankfully. So it's all about preps today. If you haven't already, you should pick up sandbags if you're in one of those areas that are prone to flooding. Make sure your car is in good working condition. Make sure the windshield wipers and tire tread is good. Do not attempt to cross flooded roads. During last month's storm, we saw cars get stuck in debris flow, and stay away from flood controlled debris basins. That's where all the rainwater and debris is collecting. Now I want to show you the aftermath of last month's storm. It pushed back the reopening of Duke's here in Malibu, you might remember, because of an intense mudslide. The restaurant was spared by the Franklin and Palisades fire. This just one example. Many other business owners dealt with similar situations, and homeowners have been anxiously monitoring conditions Even people who've lost their homes are hoping to save their plots of land from being lost in a slide. Back out here live. Speaking of slides, we're along PCH, and you can see where some of the land there slipped from the hillside. This, again, just another example. We know this is an area where a lot of the land tends to slip here during these rain-like conditions. Of course, we'll continue to keep you posted with another live update and a look at conditions in the next hour. Reporting live here in Malibu, I'm Lauren Coronado for Today in LA.
Right, Lauren, thank you. And another hurdle for the Menendez brothers in their bid for freedom. The LA County District Attorney says that he will not recommend resentencing, but could change that recommendation if Eric and Lyle Menendez take full responsibility for their actions. The brothers are serving a life sentence for the 1989 murders of their parents. They argued they acted in self-defense after years of abuse at the hands of their father, something that the District Attorney, Nathan Hochman, casts doubt on.
The self-defense defense was a fabrication. They need to admit to that. They need to admit that they suborned or attempted to suborn all the perjury. And at that point, we might be in a position, if they do it sincerely and unequivocally, to be in a position to then go back to the court and recommend resentencing.
Family members of the brothers criticized the decision, saying the DA, quote, has blinders on to the fact that Lyle and Eric were repeatedly abused, feared for their lives, and have atoned for their actions. As for what could happen next, it's unclear now if this matter will be considered by the court. Now that the DA has withdrawn the recommendation, the brothers could still have their sentences commutated or reversed by Governor Newsom. Stay with NBC4 for continuing coverage of the Menendez brothers case. Coming up at 6:45, we're going to talk with legal analyst Royal Oakes about the next steps in this case.
An unusual pursuit involving two stolen Kias being chased at the same time became one chase when the suspects abandoned one car and then jumped into the other vehicle. News Chopper 4 was over the pursuit last night in South LA. Now, at one point, the chase hit speeds of 110 miles an hour. The three people inside the Kia Soul eventually ditched that car and then ran into a neighborhood. Two people were taken into custody.
Oh my gosh, the car's catching fire. The car is catching fire. Look at this.
This was another wild pursuit. A fireball was seen coming from this black Honda trying to get away from police on the 5 freeway last night. The driver was initially wanted for a traffic violation in Seal Beach. He then took off, made it all the way to Elysian Park, more than 30 miles away. Eventually, the driver stopped, but he did not surrender right away. He was walking along the freeway. Eventually, though, officers got him into the back seat of their patrol vehicle.
The LAPD launched an investigation into alleged racism within the department. The probe surfaced after a whistleblower in the agency filed a complaint about racist, derogatory, and sexist comments. In response, Chief Jim McDonald has removed a lieutenant, sergeant, and 4 officers from the Recruitment and Employment Division. The LA Times reports there are secret recordings of officers and supervisors openly discriminating against fellow officers and potential recruits.
Especially critical now in light of our recruitment efforts, and to have a trusted unit like this alleged to have done these kind of activities, we take it very, very seriously.
Now, in response, Mayor Bass said in a statement, quote, growing LAPD's ranks is a top priority of this administration and for our city's safety. So this conduct is especially outrageous and unacceptable. The chief and I are on the same page about the urgent need to fix the recruiting and hiring process and make sure that officers stuck in the past don't tarnish the badge for everyone else. The LA Times says the LAPD is also investigating if these recordings were made illegally.
New this morning, UCLA is planning to implement new training and education to combat anti-Semitism. It comes after a federal anti-Semitism task force visited the campus after pro-Palestinian and Israeli-Hamas war protests last year. The task force recommendations include improving the complaint system, assuring enforcement of current and new laws and policies, and cooperating with stakeholders. Meanwhile, USC is getting a warning by the U.S. Department of Education's Office for Civil Rights that it must protect its Jewish students on campus or risk enforcement by the federal government. USC and 59 other schools were among the group of colleges warned by the department, including Chapman University, Santa Monica, and Pomona colleges. The department stated the schools need to fulfill their obligations under Title VI of the Civil Rights Act. We have reached out to the schools to get their comment on the warning.
Hi, everyone. Get the umbrellas ready. Rain has returned to Southern California, and the rest of the week is going to be unsettled because of two systems. Now, the first one is going to skirt to the south of us. It's pushing all that moisture inland, and today's activity will be hit or miss, but it will cause some slippery roads. I think more than anything, the first storm is going to be beneficial and of low impact. Then we get to the second system. That one's going to bring some heavier rain because it's tapped into an atmospheric river. We're going to have the risk of flooding, shallow debris flow, and we're going to have low snow level. So we are going to see big impacts to this depending on how much rain we get and also to those mountain passes. Now let me take you through the timing of this. And as we take a look at one of our weather models, you notice how that moisture is pushing to the north from the south as that system pushes to the south of us. Here we are around noon. It's gloomy. We have a few scattered showers out there. We'll have some steadier rain as we get into the afternoon and early evening. For Orange County and over in the Inland Empire, that storm will be skirting way to the south of us. And here we are looking at the weather at 8 p.m. when you notice it's mostly quiet. Overnight and through tomorrow morning, very little activity. Tomorrow we could have some more scattered showers, but you notice that it's not a big deal. Now we'll get into Wednesday evening. That's when we're going to have that second system slide through. And there's two things I'm seeing here. It's good that it's coming in the overnight hours because it's not impacting the commute so much. But unfortunately, this heavy rain is going to be coming in the evening hours, and we have the risk for flooding and debris flow. So folks that live in those areas with those recent burn scars can't let their guard down, because if any evacuation orders were to be issued, then you have to be alert. The weather by Thursday, the activity becomes more scattered, and we'll start to see the system wrap up. So really it's Wednesday evening into Thursday that's going to be the most critical time frame for us when we could see that flooding. Coming up, I'm going to show you those rain amounts right now. Let's check on the roads. Oh, the wipers are going, Robin.
Yeah, the wipers are going. It's soggy out there. Here's a live look at that soggy commute that Lynn's been telling you about here, the 405 South. This is going through Inglewood. Street Vision showing you what it's looking like right now. So please make sure you're driving at a reduced speed. Take it easy, especially on the on and off ramps. But no problems here. Traffic is moving well. It's just wet. So headlights and wipers will be needed, and you just have to get out there early because you never know what's going to pop up in the wet weather. There's always an increase in the number of accidents and incidents when we have even just a little bit of rain. Right now, the 405 is under 25 minutes to make it from Sylmar down to Inglewood. That's a great drive time. No problems for the 14. A quick trip. 29 minutes here from Palmdale off to the Newhall Pass. Merging onto the 5 South, that's going to be a piece of cake. It's looking really good from Santa Clarita all the way out to East LA. So now's your time to beat the rush. Leaving East LA, heading to West LA via the 10, that looks great. The 101 is looking good between the 5 and the 134 split. Also quiet on the 110. This is what we like to see. It's a 14-minute drive leaving Carson from the 405 up to that 101 connector. So get on out there now. It's going to pick up within the next couple of hours. Plus, you have to deal with the wet weather. So more checks of traffic coming up. Lynette, back to you.
Robin, thank you. Coming up, the next steps for an Orange County judge now that a mistrial has been declared in his murder case. Plus the testimony that could have a ripple effect on the Orange County justice system.
Plus an extension of winter break. The big vote happening today for LA Unified Schools.
And another live look outside from Mount Wilson before the storm arrives. Now's a really good time to download our NBC LA app. You can get instant weather alerts sent directly to your phone and a minute-by-minute forecast for your neighborhood. Today in LA, we'll be right back. After 8 days of deliberations, a judge declared a mistrial in the murder case of Jeffrey Ferguson. He is the Orange County judge accused of killing his wife in their Anaheim Hills home in 2023. The jury told the judge they're hung on the second-degree murder charge with no way to reach a unanimous decision. They said the split was 11-1, 11 jurors voting guilty, 1 juror voting not guilty. A retrial could start as early as April or May.
We're absolutely prepared to retry this case. 11-1 for guilty is a phenomenal success.
A hung jury is not a failure. A hung jury is part of the process, and it's also a success in its own way.
Now, an important side note to this trial, Jeffrey Ferguson testified that he might have been intoxicated while hearing some of his cases as a judge. The district attorney said that if he gets any requests from defendants from any of Ferguson's previous cases, he will reconsider those cases.
4:16 right now, the LA Unified School Board expected to hold a final vote today to officially make winter break 3 weeks long. Now, it was 2 years ago the district decided to shorten the break to 2 weeks. This move would revert back to the previous 3-week schedule. District leaders presented the drafted plan last month, and if everything is finalized, students and administrators would start the school year in mid-August to meet state requirements. It still would need, though, the unions to sign off on the new calendar schedule.
Well, it's going to feel like winter again. I hope you enjoyed those 70s and the sunshine. The gloom's going to take over. We'll have hit or miss showers today, and the temperatures will be chillier. Right now, oddly enough, we're warmer than 24 hours ago because of all the cloud cover. Temperature currently in the 50s, 40s over in Victorville and Big Bear at 28 degrees. But yesterday around this time, it was about 10 degrees colder. Now look at the afternoon temperatures. Very different from yesterday. Goodbye 70s. Now we have 50s in the forecast. So you need the umbrellas today and the jackets, the layers. Over in Big Bear, temperatures are going to be around 40 degrees. Now let's talk about this rain, because the event that we're going to have today, as I mentioned, it'll be low impact, but it will cause some issues on the roads. It's going to make it slippery. Allow extra time to get to wherever you have to go, and just know that you may experience some travel delays. Less than ½ an inch expected for the area. Now, as we get into Wednesday and Thursday, when we tap into that stronger storm system, higher rainfall rates are expected, higher rainfall amounts. I'm expecting for the LA River to rise and to flow 1 to 2 inches for most areas, but higher amounts in the mountains and in the foothills. And how about that snow level? Ay, ay, ay. It's going to be dropping to about 3,500 feet. So it's going to come crashing down, especially as we get into Thursday and Friday. So traveling in the mountains, it's going to be iffy today and tomorrow because of those slippery conditions. But then that colder air arrives Thursday into Friday, and then conditions are icy and dicey. So we have a winter storm watch that's been issued for the mountains. This is going to be upgraded to a winter storm warning once we get closer to the big snow event. This starts Wednesday afternoon. It goes all the way through the middle of the day on Friday. And check this out. We could see 1 to 2 feet of snow at resort level, and that snow level coming down all the way to about 3,500 feet means that our major mountain passes could be affected as well. So travel in the mountains should be avoided, especially on Thursday and Friday. And if you absolutely have to head in that direction, then make sure you bring the chains. Now let's check out that 7-day forecast, because the weather the rest of the week is going to be unsettled. Once we get into the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, then conditions dry out, but the temperatures remain cool. Early next week for St. Patrick's Day, we're going to have green on radar. We're going to track some rain again, so another storm system will be headed our way. The forecast in the valleys and Inland Empire staying cool. Today, tomorrow, hit or miss showers, and the heaviest rain will be moving in late Wednesday into Thursday. As I mentioned, the good news is that the rain moving in during a time when we have less cars on the road, but also the bad news is that it's moving in the overnight hours when a lot of people let their guard down. So if you live near those recent burn scar areas, then just know there's a potential for you to have some mud, debris flow, and those can happen without any warning, really, and you can't, it's really hard to react, so you got to be alert. The weather over the weekend, warm slightly, temperatures are going to be in the 60s. The forecast in the high desert is going to be rainy and it's going to be windy. The low desert, past storms haven't really reached your area, but this time around you're going to get some wet weather, so be ready for that with the umbrella. And here we are looking at the weather in the mountains, where I mentioned we're going to have rain first, transitioning into snow, and travel will be challenging. A reminder that QR code is going to be flashing at the bottom of the screen, and that takes you straight to the forecast from the First Alert Weather Team. Now let's check on the roads. What's going on, Robin?
Good morning. Good morning. Well, the commute may be a challenge as well. It always is when we get even just a little bit of rain. Street Vision showing you the soggy commute right now. The wipers are going, the roads are slick, and we don't have any problems here, but I think you should leave extra early. This is the drive on the eastbound side of the 105. So this is coming away from the 110 split, heading toward the 710 split, moving well in both directions, but very slippery. Right now, the drive time for the 105 is 16 minutes. That's to make it between the 605 split and LAX. Of course, that's great news if you're using the 105 to get over to the airport this morning. And that's another reason to leave extra early. You're going to be dealing with soggy roads. You should leave early anyway if you're heading to LAX, picking someone up or catching a flight, because you never know what you're going to run into. But the wet weather can make you extra late, right? So you want to plan ahead and think about that. The 210 from Glendora off to the 134 split. It is quiet. I'm not tracking major issues right now. It's only at 16 minutes for that connection, and the 10 is still looking good from East LA connecting over to West LA. Really quick peek at your drive through the OC. The numbers are looking good here as well for the 5, the 57, and the 22. That's what we like to see, and we'll check more coming up in a little bit. Adrian, back to you.
Robin, thank you. 4:21 right now. Next at 4, new player unlocked. How Shohei Ohtani is allowing Dodger fans to show their LA pride in an entirely different universe.
Plus, a big day for California's own Fluffy. We talk with comedian Gabriel Iglesias about his big Hollywood ceremony today. A significant update on the health of Pope Francis. The Vatican says the 88-year-old pontiff is no longer in guarded condition, meaning he's not in immediate danger from the double pneumonia that put him in the hospital more than 3 weeks ago. Doctors say the Pope is responding well to treatments, but they are still keeping a very close eye on him. At this point, there is no timetable for him to be released from the hospital.
Well, Dodger superstar Shohei Ohtani has done it all, right? He's won MVPs, a World Series, the first player to have 50 home runs and 50 stolen bases in a season. Now he is entering a new domain, Fortnite. Ohtani will be available on the popular Battle Royale video game. Yeah, it's pretty cool, right? Fortnite tweeted out this video of Ohtani's character, the first. Look at this one. I like this. This is Samurai Shohei that they're showing right here. Special character.
Samurai Shohei.
Yeah, so he's the first baseball player to be featured in the game. His character is available to players online starting next Monday.
Congratulations, Shohei. That's pretty cool. Well, time now for Hollywood Buzz, and one of SoCal's beloved comedians, Gabriel Iglesias, many of you know him as Fluffy, is set to be immortalized in cement at the world-famous TCL Chinese Theater today.
I mean, this is the only place I could pull this off. I can't wear this in LA. They're, hey, estoy ciega! Freaking Mexican DJ Khaled up here.
Organizers say Fluffy is one of the world's most successful stand-up comedians and one of the highest-grossing touring comedians of all time. That's a great honor. We spoke with Fluffy himself on what it means to him to get this honor.
You know, when I'm long and gone and you know, people are telling whatever stories, it's nice to know that they have a better place to come visit me than a cemetery. You know, they can go and put their hands where my hands were and then go take pictures with Spider-Man and Elmo right there on the street. So I'm very excited. This is huge, and this is just one of those things where I never thought it was something that I could accomplish.
He's so talented. He deserves this. The ceremony begins at 11 a.m. I love comedy. I love going to comedy shows, but this is one person I've never seen, you know, in person. I've seen clips online, and I think he's really talented. But the next time he's, you know, has a show, I'm definitely going to check it out.
I love that he's so humble.
He
you
is
know,
very
he's
humble,
just really
yeah.
sweet, and you know he appreciates
That's
it.
when you know somebody's really talented, because even when he's humble, he's still funny.
Yeah.
Right? So it's natural
true.
for him, and he works really, really hard.
Yes.
So glad to see all his successes.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Right. Thanks, Robin.
Sure.
Still ahead, Wall Street panic.
And the big hit on our economy as President Trump presses on with his trade war. Hear his message about a possible recession.
And good morning. I'm Michelle Vyas on the UCLA campus. The protests that erupted across college campuses last year have now erupted in calls for change to better protect Jewish students. What's being done at the federal level coming up.
And we are tracking the storm. The wipers are on as Street Vision drives towards Norwalk. Meteorologist Belinda Leon will have another look at your forecast coming up right after this break. Now at 4:30, a number of Southern California colleges now at risk of losing federal funding. It comes after an investigation over anti-Semitism. We are live with the demands, plus the changes for inclusion being rolled out.
Plus, a volatile week with our economy, the rising cost of everyday goods, all while the stock market tanks, while the White House insists the pain will be worth it.
Today in LA at 4:30 starts now.
Good morning to you. It is Tuesday, March 11th. This is a live look outside from downtown LA. A little cloudy out there. The skies are gray. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Lynette Romero.
I'm Adrian Arambulo. All right, some of us are having a wet driving to work already this morning. You were just showing us just a few minutes ago, right? The storm really moving in.
Yes. In fact, let me show you right now our First Alert radar network. You can see how this system is bringing all this moisture, and it's bringing in mostly light rain, but there are some pockets of moderate rain. This is going to be impacting your morning drive. We already have some slippery roads out there, and you can see how this rain is expanding all the way from the Santa Clarita Valley through the I-5 corridor, the San Fernando Valley, right now through the downtown area and out towards Orange County. Earlier, I showed you how that rain was moving in, and there you see that batch of moisture that's offshore. So that's going to be spreading towards the north, and it's going to cause some slippery conditions for us. Now, the view from Mount Wilson, the trees in the foreground look okay. That means it's not excessively windy. And out there in the distance, we have those clouds. So you can see that rain out in the distance. Now, this morning, we have temperatures that are in the 40s, so you need the umbrellas and you need the jackets. This afternoon, temperatures significantly cooler than yesterday. Goodbye 70s. Highs are going to be in the 60s and 50s with the possibility for some hit or miss showers. Now, this is just the opening act, if you will. The headliner is coming our way once we get into Wednesday and Thursday, and that one's going to bring us some heavy rain that could increase our risk for flooding. A flood watch has been issued. The details ahead. Right now, here's traffic with Robin.
Good morning. We're checking the southbound drive on the 605 right now with street vision, passing some road work, and we just passed the 91 split. It's looking good so far. It doesn't look as wet here compared to where we started over on the 405 and the 105. We saw those wipers really going, but it's soggy. Raindrops are on the windows, so please be careful out there and leave as early as you can, because you never know what's going to pop up in the soggy weather, and you should be driving at a reduced speed. So we just saw the 605 live. Here is your drive time. It is under 15 minutes between the 10 and the 105 split. That's great. 710 wide open. Under 20 minutes for that connection from Alhambra down to PCH. No problems through Long Beach. And the 57 looks good too from Pomona to Orange. We'll check more coming up a little bit later. Lynette, Adrian, back to you.
All right, thank you, Robin. 4:32 right now. Well, UCLA announced a new initiative to combat anti-Semitism on campus, and it comes after war protests last year.
NBC4's Michelle Baez is live in Westwood to explain the recommendations. Good morning, Michelle.
Hey, good morning, guys. Yeah, so the new chancellor says he's building on the past and learning from past lessons, announcing an initiative to combat anti-Semitism right here on campus to better protect Jewish students. So this comes after last year's ensuing conflict in Gaza led to those campus protests, encampments, violence, vandalism that we saw, all those arrests and remote learning, canceled events and calls for change. So going forth, the task force under the Trump administration is calling for a combat on anti-Semitism and anti-Israeli bias. Those recommendations for those colleges include enhancing relevant training and education, improving the compliance system here at UCLA, assuring enforcement of current and new laws and policies, and cooperating with stakeholders. The action group here at UCLA is made up of the brewing community and civic leaders in diverse backgrounds and faiths and perspectives. They all have to report back to the chancellor. So this comes at a time when the U.S. Department of Education's Office for Civil Rights sent letters to 60 universities. That includes USC and Pomona College, where protests erupted there on campus last year. Those 60 schools now under investigation for anti-Semitic discrimination and harassment. That also includes two other Southern California schools here in our area. That's Chapman and Santa Monica College, as you see there on the list. These letters warn of potential enforcement actions if institutions do not fulfill their obligations under Title VI of the Civil Rights Act to better protect Jewish students on campus. They could lose federal funding. That's what we've seen at Columbia University, where they lost $400 million there for failed initiatives, according to the Trump administration. UCLA was not on that list, but that doesn't mean that they're not under federal investigation. They are by the Trump administration into alleged anti-Jewish incidents. The bottom line, according to the Secretary of Education, Linda McMahon, universities must do better, and UCLA says it is doing better with these new initiatives that will roll out within the coming months. Reporting from the UCLA campus, Michelle Baez for Today in LA.
Michelle, thank you for that live report. And all eyes are on Wall Street this morning. This is a look at how stocks are moving before Wall Street opens. The Dow about 150 points up, but yesterday marked the worst day for the U.S. markets so far this year as investors are trying to grapple with President Trump's trade actions. The Dow tumbled nearly 900 points. The Nasdaq saw its worst day since 2022. Now, more tariffs are set to take effect tomorrow, and there is a government funding deadline on Friday. We're also looking at another possible rough day for investors. The White House, though, insists the pain will be worth it. Here's NBC's Alice Barr.
After a rough day on Wall Street with investors selling off stocks over fears a Trump trade war could tip the country into a recession, the White House downplaying what it called the animal spirits of the stock market, putting out a list of 50 wins in 50 days and pointing to business leaders' support. That as President Trump on Sunday did not rule out a recession this year.
I hate to predict things like that. There is a period of transition.
Later adding,
we're going to take in hundreds of billions of dollars in tariffs, and we're going to become so rich.
After the president hit top trading partners with new tariffs, China striking back with its own tariffs on U.S. agriculture products, everything from chicken, wheat, and corn to soybeans.
You're going to have a lot of farms that go out of business and aren't able to continue on the current trajectory.
Canada issuing retaliatory tariffs, and now the province of Ontario hiking electric rates for 1.5 million Americans who rely on Canadian power exports.
If the United States escalates, I will not hesitate to shut the electricity off completely.
On Capitol Hill, lawmakers sparring over the Trump administration's policies.
Donald Trump and House Republicans are crashing the economy and hurting hard-working American families.
I believe that the policies that we're putting forth are going to improve the economy and bring down costs for people. It takes a little while.
That as lawmakers work to pass a funding bill by Friday to prevent a government shutdown that would only add to economic uncertainty. A short-term government funding bill made it out of committee last night, and the full House is expected to vote later today. The Senate is the bigger challenge, where 7 Democrats would have to get on board, many voicing opposition and looking for a way to flex some political muscle in the face of the Trump administration's rapid changes. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
All right, thank you, Alice. Coming up, Uber rides for inmates.
How Riverside County is hoping to curb crime with free rides from jail.
Hi, Mom. I love you.
And a really sweet moment that just happens to be caught on camera. We talked with the Simi Valley family about the boy who professed his love for his mom on their ring camera.
Oh, I can't wait to see that story. All righty, well, we're taking a look at our First Alert radar network, and you can see how that rain is spreading in from the south towards the north. It's going to cause some slippery conditions for today, but this is just the appetizer, amigos. The main course is on the way. We've got a stronger storm that has the potential of bringing us some flooding. The details just ahead. Here's Robin with traffic.
All right, don't forget to make sure your vehicle is in good condition before you hit the road. Charge it, put some gas in your tank, make sure the wipers are working, check your tires. Street Vision giving you a live look at the 405. This is northbound heading toward Signal Hill and heading toward Long Beach. Picking up, but not bad. A complete traffic check coming up after the break.
And now to this morning's bright spot. A young boy in Simi Valley wanted to send his mom a really special message. And so he tapped right into their ring camera to do it. Take a look.
Hi, Mom. I love you.
Just short and sweet, right? So cute. Jackson's mom and dad didn't know he was going to do this. I got a chance to talk with him about how this treasured video happened.
He ran up to the camera, came back down to the end of the driveway where I was sitting, and he said, "Go check it."
I love you.
So, Jeff, did this make you think you got to up your game in terms of romance?
Definitely, yeah, but I'll let him have it for now.
You're supposed to show that video to, like, his first girlfriend, right? His wife to be.
Oh, yeah. I was the first love.
So sweet. You know, this family is just going to treasure that. And so will he. I think it's so cute that he knew exactly what he was doing. He wanted to tell her, and then he's like, check the camera, Mom.
Yeah,
check the camera.
Super thoughtful, right? And that's the cool thing about technology. Now you get to save that forever, right?
Yeah, it captures those little moments. You know, sometimes our bright spots are just little moments of sunshine that families like to share with us, and we love to share that with you. We know you love that. So please reach out to me. Super easy to do. You can reach out to me on social media or use the hashtag Today in LA Bright Spot. You can also email me at Lynette.Romero@NBCUni.com.
4:42 right now. After the break, a rare solar phenomenon. This week, a total lunar eclipse takes over the country. But what are our chances of seeing it?
Plus, getting answers over health concerns brought by a landfill in Castaic and how so-called cancer clusters in the neighborhoods are being investigated.
We're live in downtown LA talking about safety concerns for the head of LADWP, the vote on a $700,000 contract for personal protection for her.
A search is underway for a U.S. college student who disappeared last Thursday in the Dominican Republic. Authorities say 20-year-old Sudeek Shah Kananki went missing while on her spring break trip at the Rio Resort in Punta Cana. Local police say they have surveillance video of her and her friends going to the beach area, but her friends came back to the hotel without her.
They're really helping us to find our daughter, but it's been 3 days. They couldn't find her in the water.
She went to the beach with several people, okay, and she did not come back, and that's a problem.
Investigators say it's not clear if foul play was involved. The head of LADWP says she is worried for her own safety. This morning, the utility will ask the Board of Water and Power Commissioners to approve a $700,000 contract that would provide her personal security.
NBC4's Brittany Hope is live in downtown LA. And Brittany, you've been digging through the contract throughout the morning. What can you tell us about it?
Yeah, Adrian, Lynette, good morning to the both of you. Good morning to everyone at home. LADWP says in those documents that Quinones has been getting security from local law enforcement since the Palisades fire began, but that security from them can't continue because of a lack of personnel. The utility is arguing she needs that security, so they want to contract out from a private company. In a letter from the board, LADWP officials wrote, quote, since the wildfires began, LADWP has received numerous threats to the CEO, chief engineer's personal safety, some of which have required direct intervention by law enforcement personnel. Documents obtained by NBC4 reveal this would give Quinones security services for 1 year through Pinkerton Consulting and Investigations Executive Protection Services. The price tag is just over $703,000. LADWP did get proposals from 2 other companies to compare prices. Their contracts coming up to over $930,000 and over $1.3 million. So they went with the least expensive. Now it is important to note Quinones' salary is $750,000. We have reported on the public criticism of LADWP and Quinones in the wake of the Palisades fire. Many who lost their homes questioning why fire hydrants had low water pressure and why a nearby reservoir was empty. Now this morning we have reached out to LADWP to see if they would talk to us ahead of this vote. It's happening here at the DWP building on Hope Street at 10 a.m. Reporting live in downtown LA, Brittany Hope for Today in LA.
All right, Brittany, thank you. And also today, the LA County Board of Supervisors expected to hear the results of an independent health study that seeks out any potential health risks from the Chiquita landfill in the Castaic area. Supervisor Catherine Barger called on the USC Cancer Surveillance Program to analyze possible cancer clusters in communities around the landfill. Chiquita County has been the target of several lawsuits over its waste disposal operations and odor. In January, the landfill halted operations.
Recently freed inmates in Riverside County could soon be able to request an Uber ride on the day of their release. The Board of Supervisors is set to approve a $2.16 million contract with the rideshare company later this morning. For the past decade, the county has provided taxi vouchers to free detainees who cannot arrange or afford to pay for their own transportation after they are released. Under the new proposal, Uber would be recognized as the primary after-hours ride service for released inmates, utilizing its Uber for Business dashboard. Funding for the program will come from the sheriff's annual operating budget.
Well, this week, a show in the sky is coming to Southern California. Most of the U.S. will be treated to a total lunar eclipse in the coming days, with a blood red moon rising into the night sky. Now, most of the Western Hemisphere will be able to see the eclipse Thursday night into Friday morning, but with rain on the way, we wanted to bring in our expert meteorologist to ask her, will we get a chance here in Southern California? Because we have a series of storms. Right?
Our weather and our lunar expert. You're both.
When is it eclipse? I'm sorry, guys. I'm focused on the rain. Thursday night into Friday. You know what? There's a potential, yes, because we're going to get the heaviest rain late Wednesday into Thursday. And after that point, it's going to be a bit scattered.
So after the storms, maybe an eclipse.
Yeah. There you go.
Instead of a rainbow, an eclipse. We'll take it.
All righty. Now let's shift gears and talk about the rain that's on the way. The system that we're going to see today is going to be skirting to the south of us, and it's going to be mostly beneficial. But the second one is going to be tapped into an atmospheric river, and that one's coming in from the north. Not only does it have a lot of moisture, but it has a lot of cold air. So here's what you can expect for the rest of the week. We're looking at storm number 1. Today, you're going to need those umbrellas, but the impact will be low. It will cause some travel impacts, some slippery conditions. This morning, hit or miss showers, and during the afternoon, there could be an area that has more steady rain. And then storm number 2, that one's going to bring some heavier rain late Wednesday into Thursday, and that's where we have the risk for flooding. Now, as I mentioned, that one also has some colder air. So we're going to see some heavy snow in the mountains. A winter storm watch has been issued. So let me take you through the timing of today. And a reminder that QR code will be at the bottom of the screen. It'll take you straight to the forecast from the First Alert Weather Team. And here we are looking at the activity. It's spreading into the area from the south to the north, and it's very scattered. The weather around lunchtime is going to be gloomy, chilly, and as we head into the evening, we'll continue to see that chance for rain over in Orange County and the Inland Empire for the afternoon and evening commute. Now, here we are, our Wednesday morning, and things are looking pretty quiet. In fact, tomorrow morning, we could see a repeat of what we're seeing right now. But let me show you what's going to happen in the evening. So this is tomorrow evening around 7 p.m. I think the evening commute will get by just fine, and then we'll get that heavier round of rain moving in the overnight hours. Now, 2 things. The heaviest rain moving in the overnight, so not as many cars on the road. So I think that'll be good for the commute. We'll still have some leftover activity on Thursday morning. But the bad news is that the rain coming in the overnight hours, that's when a lot of people let their guard down, and we have the potential for some flooding. So if you live near those recent burn scars especially, then you have to be extra alert. Here we are looking at the weather Thursday afternoon around the middle of the day, and notice how we have some pockets of sunshine. But because of that and that moisture in the air, that's going to create some instability. So there's a potential for some thunderstorms as we head into Thursday afternoon. Here we are looking at the weather Thursday into Friday, and there you see how we have some breaks. So going back to that lunar eclipse, there's a good chance we could see it late Thursday into Friday. Now, before we get to that point, we got to be careful with that heavy rain. A flood watch has been issued for most of our areas, and notice how it covers a lot of our recent burn scars. Those are the yellow outlines that you're seeing. That will start late Wednesday, go into Thursday afternoon, and we also have a winter storm watch. So here's your 7-day forecast where you see the temperatures for the rest of the week are going to be chilly, and it's going to be unsettled. Over the weekend, temperatures warm slightly, and it looks like things dry out just briefly. We're going to have another storm system early next week. The weather for the valleys in the Inland Empire, here you see it, 50s today and temperatures below normal in the 50s and 60s for the rest of the week. Slight warming over the weekend with the return of some sunshine. That'll be brief and short-lived. The high desert will have a combination of rain, wind, chilly temperatures. The low desert, the past few storms, you've been cheated out of that moisture, but this time around you're going to get some rain. And here's a forecast for the mountains where you see this morning we're starting off with a little bit of snow. It turns rain snow this afternoon because of that warmer air, but that second system is going to be a doozy, and it's going to lower snow levels and possibly create impacts to mountain passes. That will be late Thursday into Friday. That's your forecast, everyone. Out of traffic with Robin.
Hi, we're checking out soggy roads, but Lynn, Street Vision giving you a live look at your commute on the 110. This is leaving South LA, heading north on the 110 toward the 105 split. Traffic is picking up on both sides, north and south, but it's going to be heavier for the northbound trip leaving South LA, heading into downtown LA. Wipers Wipers will be needed. You should be on your best behavior, driving at a reduced speed out there on the soggy roads. Drive time holding steady. Looks really good for now. This will not last. It's going to pick up. It's going to change again heavier as we get into the 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock hour. Right now, you can beat the rush. We're at 14 minutes from Carson to downtown LA. Looking really good out of Long Beach all the way up to Alhambra on the 710, 605. It's trouble free. No problems for South 5 coming away from South Valley, heading down toward the 10. You're also looking good on the 110 as you leave the 5 down toward the 105. And no issues for the 101 into and out of downtown North Hollywood. Right now, it is trouble free. We have a hockey game tonight. That's right. That means extra traffic around Crypto.com Arena. So we'll have your travel forecast coming up a little bit later. Lynette, Adrian, back to you.
All right. Thank you very much, Robin. Well, mark your calendar. Come hang out with our Today in LA and Telemundo 52 morning news teams at our first free coffee event of 2025. It's going to be at Lavender and Honey Espresso on Washington Boulevard in Pasadena. Come out and join us Tuesday, March 18th. So next Tuesday, as we specifically want to focus on thanking our firefighters who were on the front lines of the Eaton fire.
And we want to take you outside real quick from the San Fernando Valley before the storm arrives. We want to remind you a great time is right now to download our NBC LA app. You can get instant weather alerts sent directly to your phone and a minute-by-minute forecast for your neighborhood. We'll be right back. Well, he led the Dodgers to 2 championship titles in 4 years, and now Dave Roberts is the MLB's highest-paid manager ever. Roberts has reportedly agreed to a new 4-year contract extension worth $32.4 million. The team not only has 2 titles under Roberts, but they've made the playoffs every year that he has been here. Dave Roberts says he is excited and will have much more to share when the news becomes official.
All right. And a milestone for a landmark building in downtown LA yesterday marked the 100th anniversary of the Hall of Justice being completed on Temple Street. It is the oldest surviving government building in the Civic Center. It's been a centerpiece of the LA County justice system for all of these years, with a historic natural disaster in between.
The building was closed from 1994 to 2014 due to extensive structural damage from the Northridge earthquake.
Well, today the Hall of Justice houses the offices of the LA County Sheriff's Department and the LA County District Attorney. Well, right now at 5 a.m., tracking the storm, another round of rain is moving through Southern California right now.
Now, not everyone is seeing showers right now, but this is just the beginning. We are live with team weather coverage.
We've taken it very seriously. We don't tolerate that type of behavior in the workplace.
Plus, alleged racist, sexist, and derogatory comments will have the investigation happening inside the LAPD.
Donald Trump and House Republicans are crashing the economy.
And Wall Street woes. Stocks plummet amid President Trump's trade war. Why the White House is confident in its stance on tariffs.
Today in LA at 5 starts now.
Good morning. It's Tuesday, March 11th, as we take this live look outside towards downtown LA. Looks relatively clear out right there, and we see some beautiful city lights there, but the storm is on its way. Thanks for joining us and good morning. I'm Adrian Rampulo.
And I'm Lynette Romero. We want to make sure that you're prepared as you head off to work or to school and you wait to get your kids off to school. We need to know, like, when's it going to hit by the time they come home, right?
Yeah, you know what? It's going to happen throughout the day. And to answer a question, my kids always ask me when I tell them is it going to rain? They say, is it going to be all day? No. You know what? It's going to be all day, but it's going to be hit or miss. So we are going to get some breaks, and then you'll get a scattered shower. Hi, everyone. This is the first of 2 storms that I'm tracking. By the time the week is over, that's going to bring us some rain. Now, today's rain is mostly beneficial. You see how it's to the south of us. It's going to continue to skirt towards the south, and it's pushing all this moisture inland. So the activity is happening from the south to the north. You can see how it's moving inland. And earlier at 4 a.m., we had the rain over the San Fernando Valley, but conditions are drier right now. We've got the rain mostly set up over the foothills, so along 210. And unfortunately, we are seeing that rain in Altadena over the Eaton-Burn Scar area. Rain also out towards El Monte, rain over in Orange County, and this is going to continue to press inland. That rain is headed over into the Inland Empire. So very gloomy right now over the San Fernando Valley. Remember, with that time change, the sunrise is not going to come our way until the late 6 a.m. hour, 7 a.m., and it's going to be a gray day, chilly, highs in the 60s and 50s with a chance for some showers. Now, the second system, that one's going to be a doozy. It's going to bring us a lot of rain. A flood watch has been issued. I'll be back to walk you through the details. Right now, let's get you on the roads. Here's Robin.
Hi, good morning. We're checking out the drive through downtown. Street Vision leaving the 110 connector coming out of downtown LA. We've already checked Carson. We've already checked South LA. And this is what it's going to look like. Clouds and then soggy roads. Belin's been warning you about this. So please be careful out there and make sure you are leaving early and make sure you are driving at a reduced speed in the wet weather. No major accidents to report. Numbers are looking good. The 118 wide open Chatsworth to Sylmar. No problems for the 101. That's nice and smooth between Woodland Hills and Studio City. And it's great to see traffic moving well on the 405 for now for that drive between Sylmar and Inglewood. Great news if you're catching a flight this morning at LAX. We'll peek at more freeways and drive times and talk about your travel forecast. That's coming up in a little bit. Adrian, back to you.
All right. Thank you, Robin. 5:02 right now. All right. Get ready. We got to brace ourselves because another round of rain is here. Some of you may be seeing it already.
Belin and our First Alert Weather team, they're tracking even heavier rain, though, headed our way this week. NBC4's Lauren Coronado is live in Malibu, where, Lauren, once again, this round of rain is going to hit those burn scars, and that's where the concern is.
Lynette, Adrian, good morning. That is the big concern, especially in the areas of the Palisades and Malibu. In fact, I spoke with a homeowner who lives in this community just behind me. We're along PCH and Topanga Beach Drive right now. Last month, he set up 400 sandbags right here at the entrance of his community. You can see they live on a slope here. So these are what are left behind from all of those sandbag preps. And he also says that the city actually got some K-rails set up for them as well. You see some of those orange barriers. Those weren't there last month, so you can see they are continuing with their preparations. This just one example because we know so many people are impacted by this, and there's actually still time to prepare. Right now it's not raining here in Malibu. It was drizzling a little bit earlier, but there's still time to prep if you haven't already. So you're going to want to make sure to grab some sandbags if you live in those flood-prone areas. Many have been setting out sandbags in hopes of diverting water or debris away from their homes. A good reminder to make sure your car is in good working condition, too. You're going to want to check those windshield wipers and tires. And then, of course, don't attempt to cross flooded roads. During last month's storm, we saw cars get stuck in debris flow, even swept away in some cases. And, of course, stay away from flood-controlled debris basins. That's just where all the rainwater and debris are collecting. Now, the last storm, it really packed a punch. That was the aftermath at Duke's here in Malibu. Take a look at that. A bad mudslide. It pushed back the restaurant's opening after being spared by the Franklin and Palisades fire. This just an example. Many other business owners dealt with similar situations, and many homeowners, they've been anxiously monitoring conditions as well. I want to put up a website here. You can visit ready.lacounty.gov to sign up for emergency alerts. We know this isn't going to be the only rain event of the season, so it's a good reminder to be prepared. You can find resources to prepare for this storm and more to follow. Back out here along PCH, I want to show you where there was a little bit of a slide here. You can see a lot of the dirt there collecting at the bottom of the base of the hill here. We know PCH is prone to these slides, so of course we know Caltrans workers will be monitoring the area as well. And of course, like Belen has been mentioning, the rain is going to pick up. It's dry for now, so again, make sure to get those preps in while you can. We'll bring you another live update in the next hour. Reporting live here in Malibu, I'm Lauren Coronado for Today in LA.
Lauren, thank you for that. And we have breaking news to tell you about. Ukraine has launched a major drone attack on Moscow in what Russian authorities are describing as the largest ever drone attack on its capital. Russia's defense ministry says it downed 337 drones overnight. The attack comes at a very tough time for diplomatic efforts as Ukraine heads into talks with the U.S. today. Meanwhile, Russia's own strikes against Ukraine continue, with Kyiv saying their armed forces shot down 114 Russian drones overnight.
5:05 right now. The LA County District Attorney says the fate of the Menendez brothers is now really up to them. DA Nathan Hochman made that clear, announcing that he will not recommend reducing the prison terms of Eric and Lyle Menendez. Now, the brothers are serving a life sentence without parole for the 1989 murders of their parents. District Attorney says that they have not fully accepted responsibility or acknowledged more than a dozen lies that they've told about the murders, including their claim that they killed their parents in self-defense.
The self-defense defense was a fabrication. They need to admit to that.
They need to admit that they suborned or attempted to suborn all the perjury. And at that point, we might be in a position, if they do it sincerely and unequivocally, to be in a position to then go back to the court and recommend resentencing.
Now, the brothers' family members criticized this decision, saying the DA, quote, has blinders onto the fact that Lyle and Eric were repeatedly abused, feared for their lives, and have atoned for their actions. As for what could happen next, it's unclear if this matter will be considered by the court. Now that the DA has withdrawn the recommendation, the brothers could still have their sentences commutated, reversed by Governor Newsom.
An internal investigation is now underway in the LA Police Department. Now, it follows a whistleblower complaint alleging racist, derogatory, and sexist comments by some fellow staff in the agency. An LA Times investigation says there are secret recordings of officers and supervisors openly discriminating against other officers and potential recruits. In response, Police Chief Jim McDonnell is removing a lieutenant, a sergeant, and 4 officers from the Recruitment and Employment Division.
We've taken it very seriously. We don't tolerate that type of behavior in the workplace.
Now, in response, Mayor Karen Bass said in a statement, quote, growing LAPD's ranks is a top priority of this administration and for our city's safety, so this conduct is especially outrageous and unacceptable. The chief and I are on the same page about the urgent need to fix the recruiting and hiring process and make sure that officers stuck in the past don't tarnish the badge for everyone else. The LA Times says the LAPD is also investigating if those recordings were made illegally.
Oh, preparing for and responding to disasters could soon fall solely on the states. President Trump is set to sign an executive order placing more responsibility on local agencies instead of FEMA. The order calls for a review of all infrastructure, continuity, preparedness, and response policies in order to update and simplify federal approaches. Wall Street struggling with President Trump's trade actions against allies and adversaries, Monday marking the worst day for the U.S. market so far this year. With more tariffs set to go into effect tomorrow and a government funding deadline looming Friday, could be another really rough day, but the White House insists that the pain will be worth it. NBC's Alice Barr is in Washington to explain.
After a rough day on Wall Street, with investors selling off stocks over fears a Trump trade war could tip the country into a recession, the White House downplaying what it called the animal spirits of the stock market, putting out a list of 50 wins in 50 days and pointing to business leaders' support. That, as President Trump on Sunday did not rule out a recession this year.
I hate to predict things like that. There is a period of transition.
Later adding,
we're going to take in hundreds of billions of dollars in tariffs, and we're going to become so rich.
After the president hit top trading partners with new tariffs, China striking back with its own tariffs on U.S. agriculture products, everything from chicken, wheat, and corn to soybeans.
You're going to have a lot of farms that go out of business and aren't able to continue on the current trajectory.
Canada issuing retaliatory tariffs, and now the province of Ontario hiking electric rates for 1.5 million Americans who rely on Canadian power exports.
If the United States escalates, I will not hesitate to shut the electricity off completely.
On Capitol Hill, lawmakers sparring over the Trump administration's policies.
Donald Trump and House Republicans are crashing the economy and hurting hard-working American families.
I believe that the policies that we're putting forth are going to improve the economy and bring down costs for people. It takes a little while.
That as lawmakers work to pass a funding bill by Friday to prevent a government shutdown that would only add to economic uncertainty. A short-term government funding bill made it out of committee last night, and the full House is expected to vote later today. The Senate is the bigger challenge, where 7 Democrats would have to get on board, many voicing opposition and looking for a way to flex some political muscle in the face of the Trump administration's rapid changes. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Oh, you're going to have to use those windshield wipers this morning if you're getting behind the wheel. We've got some scattered showers from storm number 1 that is skirting to our south, and it's bringing all that moisture to the north. So here we are looking at the weather throughout the morning, and notice that the activity is very hit or miss, so it's not going to be widespread. Here we are looking at the weather at noon. It's pretty cloudy, it's gloomy, it's chilly as well. The temperature today only in the 50s, and you'll notice that scattered activity continues as we head into the evening. Now, for the second half of the day, most of the moisture will be concentrated over in Orange County and the Inland Empire. Now, overnight, what's going to happen? Things are pretty quiet. Tomorrow morning, things are looking okay. Tomorrow looks like a repeat of what we're seeing right now, where the activity is very scattered, not seeing any risk for flooding yet. And then we get into the second storm system. That one is dropping in from the north. It has colder air, it has more moisture, it's tapped into an atmospheric river, and look at how all of this moisture moves in late Wednesday through Thursday morning. Now, Thursday morning, we're going to be on the tail end of the system, so roads are still going to be slippery. But what I'm seeing is that the good news, the main moisture is going to be moving in when fewer cars are out there on the road. But the other thing is that because it's going to be in that overnight hour, a lot of people let their guard down. If you live near those recent burst areas, you especially need to be alert because that heavier rain will be moving in the overnight hours. After that point, here we are looking at the weather on Thursday into Friday. The activity very scattered, but then we've got that heavy mountain snow. So much to talk about. I'll be back to discuss more. Right now, let's check on the roads. What's up, Robin?
Roads are looking good so far. We're off to a quiet start, but it's a soggy start, so you have to start thinking ahead and planning ahead because you never know what's going to happen when you have to drive in wet weather. We are taking a peek at the 170, so Street Vision is giving you a live look at the North 170 trip. This is coming away from the 101, heading toward the 5, so like leaving North Hollywood, heading towards Sun Valley. Traffic is moving well here. I don't see the wipers going, at least not right now, but we've covered a lot of territory and we've seen a lot of wet spots on the 405, on the 105, so just be prepared for that and leave as early as you can. Your drive time for the 5, right now it's about 13 minutes in the northbound direction from the 605 split heading up to the 10. I just got word of a new crash in East LA, northbound 5 right around that Grande Vista exit, so we'll check back in on that coming up in a little bit, but 13 minutes, that's still not bad at all. 710 looks great between Long Beach and Alhambra, so does the 605. It's wide open in under 20 minutes for the drive. So we'll have some more numbers in your travel forecast coming up in a little bit. Adrian, back to you.
All right, see you shortly, Robin. Thank you. 5:13 right now. We're still at missing messages. LA Mayor Karen Bass responds to a report that she deleted texts during the wildfire disaster.
And talk about Hot Wheels. We've got the stolen car chase from Seal Beach to Dodger Stadium. Look at that. What's next on Today in LA?
5:16 right now. We're back with an unusual pursuit involving 2 stolen Kias. Police ended up chasing both vehicles after the suspects abandoned one, then jumped into the other. This is video from News Chopper 4 last night in South LA. At one point, the chase hit speeds of 110 miles per hour. The 3 people inside eventually ditched the car, ran into a neighborhood. 2 of them have been caught.
Oh my gosh, the car's catching fire. The car is catching fire. Look at this.
And another wild police pursuit last night, a fireball seen coming from the back of this black Honda trying to get away from police on the 5 last night. The driver initially wanted for a traffic violation in Seal Beach, but he took off, made his way to Elysian Park, where he stopped but didn't immediately surrender. Eventually, officers did take him into custody.
LA Mayor Karen Bass has confirmed a recent report saying her text messages from the first days of the wildfires have since been deleted.
So let me just say that my phone did automatic delete after 30 days. But we're also looking to see if there's some other way to retrieve the messages. So stay tuned.
The mayor says she has been swamped with public records requests asking for those texts from January 7th and 8th as she was flying back to LA from Ghana.
5:17 right now, really scary moments caught on camera when a tornado passed right above a television station in Orlando, Florida.
You can see the debris flying there on the camera. This is a tornado. Seek shelter immediately. Get under your desks, guys. Anchors under the desks. Everybody get on the desks. Okay.
That is meteorologist Brooks Garner live on the air when this happened. He was warning residents and everyone in the studio to take cover as that tornado passed through. The National Weather Service says the winds reached up to 120 miles per hour. Thankfully, no reports of any injuries.
Ooh, that's scary.
I know Brooks.
You
I
do?
know Brooks, yes. Wow. Like, as you're going through it, I love that he was still very calm and patient to, tell everybody around them, hey, we got to get under the desk.
You can tell the urgency in his voice, right?
Yes, absolutely. Well, we have a chance for some thunderstorms in our forecast this week, and a possibility for some heavy downpours, lightning. Winter weather is back, so it's going to be very unsettled in the next few days. So not only do we need umbrellas, we also need the jackets. The temperatures are going to be tumbling. We have numbers that were so nice. Sunny weather, remember that? That's gone. 70s Sunday and Monday. Today, temperatures come down to 59 degrees. Here's a look at your numbers. Highs today only in the 50s, way below normal for this time of year by about 10 degrees. 40s over in Big Bear. So scattered showers in the forecast for us today. Low impact rain amounts that are going to come out to less than half an inch for us. But that stronger storm is on the way for Wednesday and Thursday, and that's when we could get accumulations from 1 to 2 inches, possibly even more, especially in the mountains and foothills. That's where we're going to see more. So today, if you're keeping an eye on the LA River, it's not going to rise much, but that second system, I think it's going to make it rise and flow. Now, the second system also has some colder air along with that high level of moisture. So the snow level is going to be dropping to about 3,500 feet. That means we could see some impact to our mountain passes. Now, before I talk about the snow, hey, let's talk about that rain, because we have the potential for some flooding with storm number 2. The heaviest amount of rain will come our way late Wednesday through Thursday afternoon, and that excessive amount of rainfall could lead to not only urban street flooding, but the risk of mudslide debris flow. And look at those outlines. Those yellow outlines are the recent burn scar areas and the burn scars that we're watching. So if you live near them, then you have to be extra vigilant of the forecast, because remember that rain is going to come in the overnight hours, the heaviest amount of it. And in the mountains, I did mention how that snow level is going to be coming down. We have a lot of moisture mixed in with that cold air, so that means at 7,000 feet or a resort level, we could see from 1 to 2 feet of snow. But that low snow level, we could see a dusting to up to an inch for our mountain passes. So you want to avoid travel in the mountains Wednesday afternoon, especially Thursday and through Friday, because the roads are going to be icy and dicey. So 7-day forecast to show us that unsettled weather. Today scattered, same goes for Wednesday, but late Wednesday into Thursday is when we get the heaviest rain, and we'll still have some lingering scattered showers on Friday. We dry out for the weekend just briefly, and the temperatures warm slightly before another storm moves in on St. Patrick's Day. The weather in the valleys and Inland Empire, showers today, same goes for tomorrow, hit or miss, but then heavier rain late Wednesday into Thursday, and there you see Friday. We'll see some peaks of sunshine with temperatures remaining cool, temperatures slightly warmer over the weekend. Now in the deserts, 50s, showers, windy, you have a combo, all those things in the high desert. The low desert, you're finally going to get some rain. The past few systems have dried out before they've arrived there. And finally in the mountains, this is where the roads are going to be very slippery as we get into late Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. They're going to become icy. Today, you got to watch out for any rock slides, and please be very vigilant of the weather in the coming days. And a reminder, that QR code on the bottom of the screen takes you straight to the forecast from the First Alert Weather Team. And if you guys need anything, we are here for you. Please be safe. Now let's check on the drive. What's going on, Robin?
Well, I need like a grilled cheese sandwich, tomato soup. That's what I need when it's raining. I just have to have some comfort food, so help me out with that. We're checking in with Street Vision right now. This is the 5 in the northbound direction, like coming away from Pacoima, heading toward the Newhall Pass, and traffic is definitely picking up. It doesn't look like the wipers are going here, but yeah, we're dealing with scattered showers this morning, which means roads will be soggy. So you have to take it easy, and you have to leave as early as you can, because we always have an increase in crashes and incidents on the road, even with just a little bit of wet weather. So now's your chance to beat the rush. Much heavier traffic on the way. So the drive times are slowly on the rise, but it's not bad. The 14 is 43 minutes from Palmdale off to the Newhall Pass. The 5 looks great. We just saw it live. Your drive time is 31 minutes from Santa Clarita to East LA, and the 405 still also in good shape. I talked about this crash here. It's on the shoulder, but it's getting a little sluggish. East LA, North 5 at Grande Vista Avenue. That backup already spilling just beyond that 710 split, but the crash is on the shoulder. Looking good on the 57, the 60 and the 71. Nice, light and quiet there. And then no big problems here for the westbound 60 trip. We are under 30 minutes from Riverside to Diamond Bar. Peeking more numbers coming up. Lynette, back to you.
All right, thank you. Still ahead at 5, leaving the country, the new self-deportation app and why immigrant advocates say it won't work.
And from politics to a podcast, what we know about Michelle Obama's newest venture and the topics she'll tackle next on Today in LA. We'll be right back.
Former First Lady Michelle Obama is getting on the podcast train, announcing one of her own. She's working with her older brother, Craig Robinson, for IMO with Michelle Obama and Craig Robinson. So IMO stands for In My Own Opinion. Their podcast debuts tomorrow. The weekly show will feature interviews with celebrities and other leaders, including Issa Rae, Glennon Doyle, Seth Rogen, and Keke Palmer. In a post on social media, Michelle Obama says the podcast is going to be honest with a lot of learning, laughs, and opinions.
All right, 527 right now. Don't let the rain stop you from getting a cool treat at Wendy's tomorrow. The fast food chain giving away free, small, Thin Mints Frosty treats. In honor of National Girl Scout Day, the cookie-inspired treat features a mint chocolate swirl with the classic vanilla or chocolate frosty. And deals don't stop there. Customers can also score free fries with the $5 purchase on March 17th for St. Patrick's Day.
Because we all know the best thing that goes with a frosty are fries. Yes. All right. Still ahead, support for students impacted by our wildfire disaster.
How therapy dogs are making a big difference on their campus.
And good morning, I'm Michelle Bias. On the UCLA campus, the protests that erupted on campuses last year have now erupted in calls for change to better protect students. What's being done at the federal level and the local universities being called out? That's coming up on Today in LA.
Right now at 5:30, fighting anti-Semitism on California campuses.
We're live with the changes universities are making to protect students.
And progress at MacArthur Park, how the LAPD's zero-tolerance policy on crime is transforming the neighborhood.
I think it sounds like a veiled way of saying you're going to go anyway.
And from entry to exit, an app for asylum seekers turns into a self-deportation tool. We'll explain what happens if you use it.
Today in LA at 5 starts now.
Good morning to you. It is Tuesday, March 11th. This is a live look outside at Mount Wilson. There's some clouds out there. It's all going to change. I'm Lynette Romero.
And I'm Agent Arambula. We want to check in with meteorologist Belinda Leon, who's tracking this first wave of several storms this week, right?
Yes, this is storm number 1. The rain will mostly be beneficial, but it's going to cause some slippery conditions. I wish we had a camera in Orange County. Then we would see the rain coming down in that area. Hi, everyone. You see this area of low pressure just to the south of us, and it's pushing all that moisture inland from the south to the north. I mean, we've got some very wet conditions out there. Now, I want to stop our radar and show you what's happening right now. That rain is falling along the 210, around the San Fernando Valley, but that light green color means the rain is light. There are some pockets of heavier rain that's where you see the yellow, and you'll notice some of it over in Orange County, the 5 looking super wet. Same goes for Irvine. And look at this big cell right now out towards Lake Elsinore and Paris. This is moving towards the north. So the 215 is going to be a slippery commute, and that rain will be moving towards Riverside very soon. So here's your forecast, everyone. Today's activity, hit or miss. I would still bring the umbrella. Chilly this morning in the 40s. We got some snow going in the mountains. During the afternoon, we'll have some colder conditions, goodbye 70s. Highs today will be in the 60s and 50s. So as I mentioned, this is just storm number 1. Storm number 2 has the potential of bringing us some flooding. I'll be back to talk about it. Right now, let's check on the drive. What's happening, Robin?
Hi, Belen. No storms on the road, but plenty of brake lights. We're checking out the 14 this time around. We see the stop and go traffic on the map. That's southbound 14 heading toward the Newhall Pass. And this is your live look from Street Vision, who's actually in the traffic. I'm noticing a few raindrops on the window. I don't see the wipers going along this stretch, but we've had wipers as we've been rolling throughout South LA. There we go. Turned on. He's listening to us, by the way. He can hear everything that we're saying. So thank you for always rolling with us, Street Vision. But yeah, the drive here on southbound 14 is quiet, but more and more brake lights are filling in. The 210, we're starting to see the traffic pick up. We're at 22 minutes for your westbound trip. So that's coming away from Glendora toward the 134 split. 105, we saw that live earlier. Jeff Sharping, our photographer, showed us that commute with Street Vision. It looks good. It's only 18 minutes to make it over to LAX. That's a great drive time. And the 10 from East LA to West LA UCLA doing just fine. We'll check more coming up. Adrian, back to you.
All right, Robin, thank you. Well, UCLA is announcing a new initiative to combat anti-Semitism on campus after last year's war protests.
The school is under multiple federal investigations by the Trump administration into alleged anti-Jewish incidents. NBC4's Michelle Valles is live in Westwood with more details of this investigation by the task force to fight anti-Semitism. Michelle.
So, guys, good morning. This is a new move by the Trump administration, and at stake, possible threats to withdraw funding. We saw that at Columbia, where they canceled $400 million in federal funding to the university, accusing them of ignoring anti-Semitism allegations. Now, that brings us to UCLA, where this is going to look and feel much different in the coming months as the new chancellor rolls out a new task force to better protect students. This after last year's ensuing conflict in Gaza led to campus protests, encampments, violence, vandalism, arrests, remote learning, canceled events, and calls for change. Colleges were under fire for not doing enough to protect students. And the task force to combat anti-Semitism and anti-Israeli bias, those recommendations will include here on UCLA training and education, improving the complaint system, assuring enforcement of current and new laws and policies. An action group made up of civic leaders from diverse backgrounds, faiths, and perspectives will also report back to the chancellor. And this comes at a time when the U.S. Department of Education's Office for Civil Rights sent letters to 60 universities that include USC and Pomona College, where protests also erupted on campus last year. Also making that list, Chapman University and Santa Monica College, as you see right there on your screen. And in those letters are warnings of potential enforcement actions if these institutions do not fulfill their obligations under Title VI of the Civil Rights Act to protect Jewish students on campus. UCLA not on that list, but is, as you mentioned, under multiple federal investigations into alleged anti-Jewish incidents. As you can imagine, pro-Palestinian students, staff, and faculty say, what about us? Critics say UCLA perhaps is overreacting to those threats of funding cut, but we should say UCLA gets about over $1 billion in federal funding. But the chancellor says that is not the case, saying this initiative was put in place before January. They wanted to announce it in January, but then came the wildfires. That's the latest on the UCLA campus. Michelle Valles for Today in LA.
Right, Michelle, thank you. And signs of progress at the historic yet problem-plagued MacArthur Park. Yesterday, LA Mayor Karen Bass said crime in the neighborhood is down 42% since December. That's due in part, she says, due to an increase in LAPD patrols. The officers are also working with homeless outreach groups and mental health crisis teams. Mayor Bass also said that new fencing on the east side of the park is discouraging open drug sales, and that more than 200 tons of trash has been collected since September.
Staffing has been increased to clean and maintain the park. New solar streetlights were installed, and improvements to public parking were made to directly support legal businesses.
The announcement comes after more than $300,000 worth of stolen goods were recovered in this area.
The Trump administration is rolling out a self-deportation app for undocumented immigrants. Now, the hope is that they will choose to return to their own country instead of being deported. It's called the CBP Home app. Now, the app is repurposed from the CBP One app the Biden administration created for asylum seekers requesting entry into the United States. If undocumented immigrants use it, they will be asked to fill out biographical information, including countries of citizenship, where they plan to return to, registration numbers, contact information, and photos. But one immigration attorney says the app is collecting that data without explaining what rights they may have.
If you have never had any immigration history, then you have due process rights. And those rights include your ability to be able to present your case before an immigration judge in immigration court.
Immigrant advocates say if undocumented immigrants choose to self-deport, they should go to an embassy in their home country to report it instead.
I hope you enjoyed the spring weather. You soaked up the sunshine because now we have gloomy conditions and rain. So there's a storm passing to the south of us. This is storm number 1. And watch how the activity that it brings today is very scattered. It's not going to rain all day. We will have breaks in the rain, maybe a few pockets of sunshine. Here we are looking at the weather at noon, and notice the activity. It's very quiet. The rain that we see is going to be very light. Accumulations less than ½ an inch. Here we are this evening around 7 p.m. and notice that things seem like they want to dry out. Aha, but they won't. As we get into tomorrow morning, we're going to see similar activity to what we have right now. It's very scattered. Now let's talk about what's going to happen Wednesday evening. That's when we get to the heavier rain. Now Wednesday around 7 p.m. for the most part. If you make it home before that time, you're going to be good. But if you're on the roads past that time, then that heavy rain is going to catch up to you. Here's a reason why. That second storm system is going to drop in from the north, and it's tapped in with an atmospheric river. So it's going to bring this line of rain along with it. And here we are looking at the weather Thursday at 7 a.m. Notice how we still have some lingering rain for the Thursday morning commute. Now, the heaviest rain moving in the overnight hours means that we won't have as many cars out there on the road. We're still going to be affected a little bit on Thursday morning, but it also means that, in the evening, folks tend to disconnect. So if you live near those recent burn scar areas, that is not what we want you to do. We want you to stay informed and for you to stay alert in the weather, because that heavier round of rain could bring not only flooding, but also mudslides, debris flow. Here we are looking at the weather Thursday around the middle of the day, and notice that the heaviest stuff is gone. And after that point, it's going to be very scattered, but we're still going to have some snow falling in the mountains. So I'll be back to talk about that. Right now, let's check on the roads. Here's Robin.
Hey, I-5 brake lights. We're checking out the 5. This is the 5 coming away from the Newhall Pass. Earlier, we checked South 14, which is picking up, leaving Santa Clarita, heading toward the Newhall Pass. And once you merge onto South 5, this is what you're going to be dealing with. A little bit of commute traffic picking up and some sprinkles here and there, but it's quiet. So South 5 looks good. South 14 is moving well. No problems for that stretch. Just got a word of a crash here heading toward downtown LA as you merge from the East 10 connector to the northbound side of the 110. Just got a word of a crash here, and it looks like someone is injured and may be out of the vehicle in the lanes of traffic, and that is blocking that connector ramp. So I'll keep my eyes on that. The opposite direction is starting to pick up. So that crash is East 10 to North 110. Your drive time here, 15 minutes for 10 West, leaving East LA, heading toward West LA. The 101 starting to pick up too, but 18 minutes. That is not bad at all between the 5 and the 134. And the 110, we saw that live earlier. Street Vision showed us that. It's still looking good. Carson, South LA, downtown LA, trouble-free. 15 minutes for your connection. More drive times and another traffic check coming up in a bit. Lynette, back to you.
All right, thanks, Robin. Still ahead this morning, a sweet message from Mom. Hear what this Ring camera cutie had to say and how his parents reacted.
And also had concerns about so-called cancer clusters in communities near the Chiquita Canyon landfill, how the health risks are being addressed today.
And the head of LADWP feeling unsafe after the Palisades fire. What we're learning about alleged threats made against her and the vote that's happening today to pay for her private security.
Today, the head of the LADWP will ask the Utilities Board of Commissioners to approve a private security contract for her worth about $700,000.
Denise Quinones is the utility's CEO and chief engineer. And NBC4's Brittany Hope is live in downtown LA to explain why Quinones says this contract is necessary. Brittany?
Hi, good morning, everyone. LADWP says Quinones has been getting security from local law enforcement since the Palisades fire began, but that she can't get that protection anymore because of a lack of personnel. So the department is arguing she needs this protection. She needs to be safeguarded. So they want to contract out private security for her instead. In a letter by the board, LADWP officials wrote, quote, since the wildfires began, LADWP has received numerous threats to the CEO, chief engineer's personal safety, some of which have required direct intervention by law enforcement personnel. Documents obtained by NBC4 reveal this would give Quinones security services for 1 year through Pinkerton Consulting and Investigations Executive Protection Services. The price tag is just over $703,000. LADWP did get proposals from 2 other companies to compare prices. Their contracts coming up to over $930,000 and over $1.3 million in comparison. We have reported on the public criticism of LADWP in Quinones in the wake of the Palisades fire. Many who lost their homes questioning why fire hydrants had low water pressure and why a nearby reservoir was empty. Of course, we have reached out to LADWP early this morning, seeing if they would speak to us or release some sort of statement ahead of that vote. The vote happens here in downtown LA at 10 a.m. Live in downtown, Brittany Hope for Today in LA.
Brittany, thank you. And also today, the LA County Board of Supervisors is expected to hear the results of an independent health study that seeks any potential risks from the Chiquita landfill in the Castaic area. Supervisor Catherine Barger called on the USC Cancer Surveillance Program to analyze possible cancer clusters in the communities around the landfill. Chiquita Canyon has been the target of several lawsuits over its waste disposal operations and odor. In January, the landfill halted operations.
And now to this morning's bright spot. A young boy in Simi Valley wanted to send his mom a really sweet and special message. So he tapped into their Ring camera to do it. Take a look.
Hi, Mom. I love you.
The little sweet kiss at the end, right? How adorable. Jackson's mom and dad did not know he was doing this. I got a chance to sit down with them and talk about how this treasured video happened.
He ran up to the camera, came back down to the end of the driveway where I was sitting, and he said, "Go check it."
I love you.
So, Jeff, did this make you think you got to up your game in terms of romance?
Definitely, yeah, but I'll let him have it for now.
You're supposed to show that video to like his first girlfriend, right? His wife to be.
Oh, yeah. I was the first love.
She'll be playing that video over and over again when he becomes a teenager. You know they're going to save this video forever. Just really a sweet way for him to take advantage of, you know, just the Ring camera. He knew exactly what he was doing.
Yeah, super thoughtful. And I love, they're always running everywhere, right? Running off, running to the camera, running away from the camera. But yeah, they have that moment now preserved in history. And there's something so special about boys and their moms, right?
It's
that
so
special
true.
bond that only they can have.
It's so true. They melt your heart. We love a little sunshine in the morning. We know you do too. So please keep sharing your bright spots with us. You can reach out to me on social media. Use that hashtag #TodayInLA_BrightSpot. You can also email me, Lynette.Romero@NBCUni.com.
Oh, that's so cute. I think it says a lot about her as a mom as well, that he would feel that he wants to share that with her. So, all right, that's a good way for us to warm up because it's chilly out there. We've got rain because of a storm that's going to be skirting to the south of us. It'll bring us some good rainfall for today. And then we get into the second storm system. It's going to drop in from the north and it's tapped into an atmospheric river. That's the reason why the second storm system is going to be a stronger one that's going to bring us some bigger impacts. So, as I mentioned, we're tracking two storms. The one today bringing us light showers on and off, accumulations less than ½ an inch, and it's mostly going to be beneficial, but it is going to cause some issues on the roads. It's going to make it a little slippery. Now, storm number 2, that's going to arrive Wednesday through Friday with the heaviest rain late Wednesday through Thursday. That one's going to have some higher rainfall amounts from 1 to 2 inches for most areas, but we could see some higher amounts, especially in the foothills and mountains. So that's the one that's prompting a flood watch for most of SoCal, especially near those recent burn scar areas. And we're also going to tap into some colder air with that second storm. So the snow will become heavier and mountain travel will become more difficult. I mean, today, tomorrow, you have to head up there. Make sure you bring the chains. It's going to be very slippery and challenging, but you definitely want to avoid travel in the mountains on Thursday and Friday. That's when the snow level will drop even more and we could see some impacts to those major mountain passes. Now, we do have a winter weather advisory over the LA Ventura County mountains. That's in effect today. That snow level is still pretty high, but watch what happens as we head into Wednesday afternoon. Through the middle of the day on Friday, we're talking about a snow level that's going to come down to about 3,000 feet. So that could be impacting the Grapevine, where we could see a dusting to up to about 1 inch, even through the Cajon Pass. But at resort level, we could be seeing 1 to 2 feet of snow. So this is the second storm system is going to be a big rainmaker and snowmaker. So here's your 7-day forecast. Was the temperatures today are going to be coming down from where we were. You're going to notice the difference. Highs are going to be in the 50s and 60s, and that unsettled weather continues through the rest of the week. Now over the weekend, temperatures warm slightly. We bring back some sunshine. We dry out just briefly before another storm moves in early next week for St. Patrick's Day. The forecast for for the valleys, the Inland Empire. Light showers for today, scattered. Wednesday, looking more at that activity throughout the day. But as we head into Wednesday evening and Thursday morning, that's when the heaviest amount of rain is going to sweep through, and we may still see some impacts on Thursday morning for the morning commute. And then by Thursday afternoon through Friday, the activity is very scattered. Over the weekend, we dry out, and it's going to be really nice where we can maybe put away the jackets, enjoy some long sleeves or short sleeves. Temperatures will be in the mid to upper 60s. Rain returns for St. Patrick's Day. In the high desert, you got showers, you got wind, you got chilly temperatures. The low desert's going to get some rain as well starting today, and that chance continues through Wednesday. And finally, in the mountains, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. But stay out of the snow, driving in it, especially on Thursday and Friday. That's going to be tough. Be safe, everyone. QR code takes you straight to the forecast from the First Alert Weather Team. All right, what's happening out there, Robin?
Hey, we're checking back in on traffic, Belen, and it's just picking up. Every time we take a little peek at traffic, it gets busier and busier. More brake lights here for your drive on the 405. This is a live look at southbound 405 heading toward the 101 split. So that's going to be the Sherman Oaks side. Let's just say you'll have plenty of company, but it's looking really good. It's quiet. It's trouble-free, but you're dealing with soggy roads. You should leave a little early, and for sure, watch your speed and be on your best behavior when you get out there. Right now, the 405 is at 33 minutes. It's going to go up. The number's on the rise as more of you hit the road, especially once we get into the 6 o'clock hour, the 7 o'clock hour. So the heavier traffic is on the way. You have time to get ahead of it. Leave as early as you can. 34 minutes from Sylmar to Inglewood. Wide open on the 101, Woodland Hills to Studio City. We love that. And no problems for our folks, our friends taking the 118. It's a nice drive from Chatsworth over to Sylmar. We do have the Century accident wrapping up East 10 at the northbound 110 connector as you work your way toward downtown LA. Very few details, no major slowing, but it's getting a little sluggish here leading up to the split, leading up to that interchange. So watch out for that. The 10 from East LA to West LA up to 20 minutes, and your drive on the 101 also at 20 minutes, leaving Boyle Heights to the 134 connector. Adrian, back to you.
Thank you very much, Robin. New at 6 a.m., Southwest Airlines makes a surprising announcement this morning. Find out what's changing for the first time and why it's sure to cause a stir among flyers.
And as we head to the break, we want to invite you to our first free coffee event of 2025. That's right. It is 1 week from today, March 18th, at Lavender and Honey Espresso on Washington Boulevard in Pasadena. Come and hang out with us and meet our Today in LA team and our Telemundo 52 teams as we thank our firefighters on the front lines of the Eaton fire. Don't go anywhere. Today in LA will be right back.
5:57 right now, 2 months after our devastating wildfires, some Altadena students got a pick-me-up in the form of those therapy dogs you just saw. St. Mark's School recently had to move into a new space in Pasadena after their school was destroyed in the Eaton fire. The head of the school and some students even lost their homes. But all that seemed to be forgotten yesterday, at least for a moment.
Right away, see their body language change, a smile. How can you not smile when a dog comes in?
Isn't she sweet?
Oh,
I'm just watching the video, right?
So sweet.
Yeah, can you imagine being there in person? More than a dozen therapy dogs were brought in thanks to volunteers from the group Love on a Leash.
Love on a Leash. We like that.
Right now at 6 a.m., waking up to rain. We're seeing widespread showers falling across Southern California this morning.
It is happening, but a much stronger soaker is on the way. Meteorologist Belen de Leon is timing it all out for us as the burn zones prepare for downpours.
And we have breaking news. Ukraine takes on Russia, launching its largest ever drone strike on Moscow overnight. And this comes as the U.S. and Ukrainian officials begin talks to find a path towards peace.
This is Today in LA at 6.
Good morning to you. It is Tuesday, March 11th. From the coast to the mountains, we are seeing widespread rain falling this morning. It's happening. You have been warned, and there is more on the way. I'm Lynette Romero. We're so glad you're here with us.
And I'm Adrian Arambula, and our First Alert Radar Network is tracking the first of 2 storms right now. The second storm is going to be much more powerful, could bring flooding, could bring mudslides.
Meteorologist Belen de Leon is timing it all out for us. The rain and the snow, it's all coming in our First Alert forecast. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. We're going to get through it together. The activity today is going to be very scattered, hit or miss. There's the system. You see how it's spinning to the south of us, and it's it's pushing all this moisture to the north. So we're seeing it this morning. The roads are slippery. They're a little wet, but I'm not anticipating any flooding issues. That rain currently falling more concentrated over Orange County and the Inland Empire. Now, a heavier band of rain earlier was set up right over Altadena, and it did cause some wet conditions along the 210. So anticipate very slippery roads there. And right now, checking in what's happening in Orange County, we had that rain there, and now it's moved into the Inland Empire. So this morning, allow extra time to get to wherever you have to go, and the chance for scattered showers will continue for the afternoon commute. So bring the umbrella with you and make sure you bundle up. The temperatures today are going to be way colder. Goodbye 70s, hello 60s and 50s. Yep. Winter weather is making a comeback. I haven't even talked about storm number 2. I'll be back to detail it for you. Right now, here's traffic with Robin.
Good morning. We're checking in with Street Vision, who just left eastbound 101 heading toward the 134-170 connector. We've checked out the 5, the 14, the 405, and so far it's looking good. No big problems along this stretch, but you will experience some scattered showers out there this morning, depending on where you're heading. So just be prepared to use the brake lights, be prepared for soggy conditions, and please make sure you're driving at a reduced speed. The drive time for the 405 is 36 minutes. It's going up, but it's not bad from Sylmar down to Inglewood. The 101 moving well. We saw it live from Street Vision, under 15 minutes for your east and westbound commute. That's between Woodland Hills and Studio City. So yes, off to a good start. Let's keep it that way. Behave out there on the roads. We'll check more traffic coming up. Lynette, Adrian, back to you.
Robin, thank you. Well, as Belen mentioned, our First Alert radar network is already tracking that rain. Today, that means there could be problems, as you just heard from Robin, on the road as you head out the door.
And trouble for those living in the burn scar areas as the rain intensifies. NBC4's Lauren Coronado live in Malibu, where it's already been raining this morning. Lauren.
Lynette, Adrian, good morning. We got some drizzle earlier in the 4 o'clock hour, but it looks like there's a break in rain right now. However, it's still really breezy. Sometimes we'll get that gust of wind that comes through, and we talk about the concern of mudslides. This is something that has really been on the minds of those who've been affected by the recent fires. The community here right on Topanga Beach Drive along PCH, they were really quick to get some sandbags out here during last month's storm. In fact, I talked with one of the homeowners. He said at the time he set out 400 sandbags. You can see what's left of them here. And he tells me the city, they stepped in, the city of Malibu, they were able to put up some of those K-rails to protect the homes here. And now these are new, some of these orange barriers here too. It looks like they're going to be setting these out. So it's really all about preps today. There's still time to prep if you haven't already. So a lot of people, they're getting those sandbags ready to divert water and debris away from their homes. A good reminder to make sure your car is in good working condition too. You're going to want to check windshield wipers and tires. Do not attempt to cross flooded roads. We've recently seen cars get stuck in mud flows, even swept away in some cases, and stay away from flood control debris basins. That's where all the rainwater and debris are collecting. Now, like I mentioned, last month's storm really packed a punch. This was the aftermath at Duke's here in Malibu. A bad mudslide pushed back the restaurant's opening after being spared by the Franklin and Palisades fire. This just one example. We know many other business owners dealt with similar situations, and many homeowners have been anxiously monitoring conditions. So I want to mention some signs to look out for when it comes to landslides. Look out for widening cracks in the ground, bulging at the base of slopes, and tilting. We're talking tilted or moved trees, fences, utility poles, and retaining walls. Back out here live when we talk about slides. Here's one, just a small slide. You can see a little bit of the land slipped from the hillside here. Of course, this is always a big area of concern right along PCH. Again, we're right here near Topanga Beach Drive. So we know Caltrans crews, they're going to be preparing over the next couple days for the potential of more mudslides. We'll be monitoring conditions as well. We'll be sure to bring you another live update in the next hour, a little bit closer to 6:55, I should say. Reporting live here in Malibu, I'm Lauren Coronado for Today in LA.
We will look forward to that update. Well, as rain is headed our way and already here in some spots, the city of Sierra Madre is offering sandbags to residents who need them. You can pick them up and fill them up starting at 8 o'clock this morning at Sierra Vista Park. You will be limited to 25 bags per household, and do not forget your shovel.
Well, you can get the power of the First Alert radar network right in your pocket ahead of this powerful storm. Just scan the QR code right there on your screen, and you can get weather alerts sent right to your phone and the minute-by-minute forecast for your neighborhood.
we are staying on top of breaking news. Ukraine has launched a major drone attack on Moscow in what Russian authorities are describing as the largest ever drone attack on its capital. Russia's defense ministry says it downed 337 drones overnight. The attack comes at a tough time for diplomatic efforts as Ukraine heads into talks with the U.S. today. Meanwhile, Russia's own strikes against Ukraine continue, with Kyiv saying their armed forces shot down 114 Russian drones overnight.
6:04 right now, another hurdle for the Menendez brothers in their bid for freedom. The LA County District Attorney says he will not recommend resentencing, but could change that recommendation if Eric and Lyle Menendez take full responsibility for their actions. The brothers are serving a life sentence for the 1989 murders of their parents. District Attorney Hawkman says that they have not fully accepted responsibility or acknowledged more than a dozen lies that they've told about the murders, including their claim that they killed their parents in self-defense. As for what happens next, we're going to talk with legal analyst Royal Oakes for more context in this case. He joins us live at 6:45.
UCLA is planning to implement new training and education to combat anti-Semitism. Now, it comes after a federal anti-Semitism task force visited the campus after protests last year. The task force recommendations include improving the complaint system, assuring enforcement of current and new laws and policies, and cooperating with stakeholders. Meanwhile, USC is getting a warning by the U.S. Department of Education's Office for Civil Rights that it must protect its Jewish students on campus or risk enforcement by the federal government. USC and 59 other schools were among the group of colleges warned by the department, including Chapman University, Santa Monica, and Pomona colleges. The department stated the schools need to fulfill their obligations under the Title VI of the Civil Rights Act. We have reached out to the schools to get their comment on the warning.
And we're keeping a close eye on Wall Street. Monday marked the worst day for the U.S. market so far this year. The Dow sank more than 900 points at one point, with investors selling off stocks over fears that the trade war could send our country into a recession. The White House sought to reassure Americans with a statement saying President Trump is set to repeat what it's called historic job, wage, and investment growth from his first term. Lawmakers are split on the Trump administration's tactics as more tariffs are set to go into effect tomorrow.
Donald Trump and House Republicans are crashing the economy and hurting hard-working American families.
I believe that the policies that we're putting forth are going to improve the economy and bring down costs for people. It takes a little while.
Well, adding to the economic uncertainty, lawmakers on Capitol Hill must also work to pass a funding bill by Friday to avoid a government shutdown. The House expected to vote on it later today. The bigger challenge will be getting it through the Senate, where 7 Democrats would have to agree with Republicans.
Hi, everyone. Let's time out this rain. Remember the picture I showed you of that storm to our south? Any kind of showers are going to pushing in from the coast inland. Now, here we are looking at the weather around noon. The activity is very scattered. In fact, some of us will be dry at that time, but we'll have some very cool and cloudy conditions. Now, during the afternoon, I'm seeing most of the rain fall over in Orange County and the Inland Empire. But notice as we get into this evening and even into tomorrow morning, hey, we have a lull. Now, tomorrow, I'm expecting for the activity to look a little like today. It's very scattered. It is hit or miss. But then we get into the stronger storm system. That one has more moisture. It has some colder air. It's not going to sweep in until Wednesday evening. So if you're home before 7 p.m. on Wednesday, then you are good. But if you live near those recent burn scar areas, you need to stay very vigilant because this rain will be moving in the overnight hours, a time where most of us tend to let our guard down. Some of that heavy rain will be left over for Thursday morning. The morning commute on Thursday looks a little slippery. And then on Thursday, we have the potential for a few thunderstorms. Now, the rest of Thursday, even into Friday, we're going to have a potential for some scattered showers, but our friends in the mountains will continue to see that snowfall, and we're going to have some impacts to those mountain passes. So I'll be back to talk about those rain and snow amounts. Guys, back to you at the desk.
All right, Belinda, thank you. Well, deliberations lasted longer than the trial itself. Coming up, jurors hit an impasse in the high-profile murder case of an Orange County judge. How the jury split their vote and what happens next.
Plus, a fireball on the freeway. A Honda erupts into flames as a man tries to outrun police from Seal Beach to Elysian Park. You're going to see how officers turned up the heat on this driver.
Good morning, everyone. Earlier, I told you about an accident with injuries at the East 10 connector to the North 110. Julia Dang at News Chopper 4 found the crash. It's still active and blocking. We'll have details coming up after the break. Stay with us.
the same time. One of the suspects abandoned one car, jumped into the other. News Chopper 4 over the pursuit last night in South L.A. At one point, the chase hit speeds of 110 miles per hour. The three people inside the Kia Soul eventually ditched the car, ran into a neighborhood. Two people were eventually taken into custody.
Oh my gosh, the car's catching fire. The car is catching fire. Look at this.
Wow, and another wild police pursuit. A fireball seen coming out of the back of this black Honda trying to get away from police on the 5 last night. The driver initially wanted for a traffic violation in Seal Beach. He took off, made it all the way to Elysian Park, more than 30 miles away. Eventually, that driver stopped, but did not surrender right away, walked along the freeway before officers got him in the back seat of their patrol vehicle.
After 8 days of deliberations, a judge has declared a mistrial in the murder case of Jeffrey Ferguson. He is the Orange County judge accused of killing his wife in their Anaheim Hills home in 2023. The jury told the judge they're hung on the second-degree murder charge with no way to reach a unanimous decision. They said the split was 11-1, 11 jurors voting guilty, 1 juror voting not guilty. A hearing will be held Thursday on how to proceed with this case, and a retrial could start as early as April or May.
Well, get ready for a celestial show. A total lunar eclipse is happening this week.
But with rain in our forecast, will Southern California get a front row seat? That's the question. Time right now is 6:14. This is a live look over Ontario. We are tracking rain this morning. Already some raindrops on our camera lens there. A bigger storm, though, is arriving tomorrow night. Meteorologist Belinda Leon is timing it all out for us, and she'll have that coming up. Right now, there's a show in the sky. It is coming to Southern California this week. Most of the U.S. will be treated to a total lunar eclipse in the coming days with a blood red moon rising into the night sky. Ah.
Really, really cool looking, right? Well, most of the Western Hemisphere will be able to see the eclipse Thursday night into Friday morning. But with rain, clouds this week, Belinda, we want to know if our chances of seeing the eclipse are going to be eclipsed.
What do you think?
Oh, I like that, Adrian. We have a good chance. If it's happening late Thursday into Friday, I think the brunt of the storm will be out of the picture. You know, along with the rain moving in, we also have the cold air invading SoCal. The temperatures are going to be tumbling. Remember Sunday and how sunny it was, and we got to 75, and even yesterday we got to 73. Today, temperatures are coming down to 59. Highs only in the 50s across the area, from the coast to the Cactus and over in Big Bear, temperatures at 40 degrees. So, yep, this is all part of storm number 1. In fact, here we see live satellite and radar. You can see how that moisture is pushing in from the south to the north, and the rain mostly concentrated over the Inland Empire right now, but we do have some scattered activity throughout the day. So here's what you can expect. Storm number 1 impacting us today, but it's not going to cause huge issues. What it will do is cause slippery roads. The showers will be hit or miss. You'll be under one of those showers, and then you will be under a long break of very dry conditions. So that's the activity we have today. Now, storm number 2, that is going to come our way Wednesday through Friday. The heaviest amount of rain happening on Thursday. That is going to be tapped into an atmospheric river. So what that means is that we have a higher risk of flooding with higher rainfall rates, rain amounts, and it's also going to have some colder air. So it's going to drop our snow level to about pass level. So here's what you can expect as far as rainfall amounts today, about ½ an inch, but Wednesday through Thursday, we're going to have 1 inch to up to 2 inches with higher amounts in the mountains, possibly 3 to 4 inches there, and that snow level is going to come down to about 3,500 feet. Now, as I mentioned, that stronger storm has the potential of bringing us some flooding, so a flood watch has been issued Wednesday afternoon through Thursday afternoon. So this excessive rainfall could cause mudslides, debris flow. Our Lorne Coronado has been warning you to please know the signs if a mud or debris flow is happening near you, because the danger is here is that the heaviest rain will be falling in the overnight hours when a lot of people are asleep. But we don't want you to get caught off guard, and you have to be weather alert. Now, we also have that snow. Today, a little bit of snow, and then it turns into rain and snow this afternoon with some warmer temperatures. But then we get into some colder air Wednesday afternoon through Friday with that second system. At resort level, we could get from 1 to 2 feet of snow. So resort level, really happy up there. Meanwhile, at the Grapevine and mountain passes, that's where we could have some frustrated travelers because there's a possibility of a dusting of up to an inch. So travel late Wednesday, especially Thursday and Friday, should be avoided. Here's your 7-day forecast, where the rest of the week we have rain every single day. That dries briefly over the weekend, and then another storm system early next week. And look at those temperatures. Highs in the 50s and 60s. It's feeling like winter again, so just count on those very unsteady conditions for the next several days. We'll even have a chance for some thunderstorms as we head into Thursday. The high desert, a combination of everything. The low desert, you're finally going to see some rain. And again, in the mountains, if you absolutely must travel in that direction, make sure you bring the chains, but avoid travel in the mountains, especially Thursday, because that's going to be the snowiest day. That's your forecast, everyone. Remember, that QR code takes you straight to the forecast from the First Alert Weather Team.
That's
hey, Robin.
Right. Hey, it sure does. And speaking of traffic and slowdowns, we have a long line right here. We are looking at brake lights. We've been talking about this crash on the 10 at the 110. Let's check in with Julia Dang and News Chopper 4. Julia.
Robin, that crash that we've been following, you can see one of the two cars involved was just towed. That red car still here. This is going to be on the 10 East getting onto the 110 North. And we now have not one, but two issues on that transition lane. If you follow the camera with me here, there is another car, or I think this might be actually from a different crash. You can see it now. Oh, it's facing the right way. It was facing the wrong way earlier. Still on the transition lane, the 10 East getting onto the 110 North. If you do want to try and alternate and get around this, I'd recommend Washington Boulevard. You can take that to Figueroa and then get back on the 110 North. Behind this, you can see traffic definitely impacted. There's no estimated time of clearing just yet. Back to you, Robin.
Double trouble. Thank you for that update. We're going to take a look at the drive time right now for the 10. It's about 27 minutes to make your way west from East LA over to the 405 connector. So definitely picking up. Also picking up the 101. We're now at 22 minutes for your average drive. This is going north. So to make it from the 5 split up to the 134 split, and the 110 picking up too. It started filling in about an hour ago, and we're holding at 23 minutes, which is still not bad, leaving Carson. So making that connection from the 405 to the 101 into downtown LA. Plus, you're dealing with scattered showers and soggy roads in some areas. So leave early. More traffic checks coming up in a bit. Lynette, Adrian, back to you.
All right, Robin, thank you. Long Beach's own Gabriel Iglesias is getting a star-studded tribute today. Coming up, we're catching up with Fluffy himself to find out what this honor means to him.
Yep, he's driving southbound on the pier.
And just released video reveals the intense end to a police pursuit on the Newport Beach Pier. Discover what happened when the driver had nowhere else to run. You're watching Today in LA at 6:20. We'll be right back.
Just into our newsroom, Democratic former Representative Katie Porter is running for governor of California. She just went public with her announcement video. She now joins a field that includes Lieutenant Governor Eleni Kounalakis, State Superintendent Tony Thurmond, former State Controller Betty Yee, former State Legislative Leader Tony Atkins, and former LA Mayor Antonio Villaraigosa. But a bigger name, former Vice President Kamala Harris, is looming over all of them. She is expected to make a decision by this summer.
Santa Ana police released body cam video of a police pursuit that ended at the Newport Beach Pier last month, and ultimately officers shot a man wanted for murder. On February 1st, Menifee police asked for help finding 45-year-old Jose Velasquez, who was wanted for a woman's murder in the city. Velasquez led police on a pursuit through several cities after officers spotted him. That chase then ended right there at the Newport Beach Pier. Body cam video shows Velasquez with a gun, prompting officers to start shooting. He then died at the scene.
Time now for Hollywood Buzz, and one of SoCal's beloved comedians, Gabriel Iglesias, many of you know him as Fluffy, is set to be immortalized in cement at the world-famous TCL Chinese Theater today. That's right. Organizers say Fluffy is one of the world's most successful stand-up comedians and one of the highest-grossing touring comedians of all time. We spoke to Fluffy himself on what it means to get this honor.
You know, when I'm long and gone and you know, people are telling whatever stories, it's nice to know that they have a better place to come visit me than a cemetery. You know, they can go and put their hands where my hands were and then go take pictures with Spider-Man and Elmo right there on the street. So I'm very excited. This is huge, and this is just one of those things where I never thought it was something that I could accomplish.
He's so funny, so talented. I can't wait to check him out in person one day. The ceremony begins at 11 a.m. and we'll be there. Queen Bee just found herself on King Charles's personal playlist. That's right, the King revealed his mix of musical favorites in the King's Music Room for Apple Music. The British monarch also praises artists like Beyonce and Kylie Minogue for their support of his charity. So now, like in my head, I'm envisioning King Charles dancing to Beyonce. I feel like I need to see that.
So he's part of the Beehive?
He's part of the Beehive. Apparently, yes.
Goodness.
Yes.
What?
I want to see him dancing to like Crazy in Love. That would be something.
Yeah. All the single ladies, can you imagine? Oh my gosh. Oh, okay, thank you. I can't unsee it now. Okay, ahead at 6:30, why is LA's DWP ready to drop $700,000 on security? What it has to do with the aftermath of the Palisades fire.
Plus, changes on campus. NBC4's Michelle Vyas live at UCLA with the school's new effort to fight anti-Semitism.
And good morning. We'll talk about that new task force as well as what universities might be going through as they remain on high alert as the Trump administration threatens to yank federal funding and crack down on campus demonstrations.
Oh, the rain moving in today will mostly be beneficial, not only for our vegetation, but also the air quality. If you can find a break in the rain, get a walk outside, the air quality is going to be fantastic. Now, I'm tracking that second storm system. That one has the potential of bringing us some flooding. I'll be back to take a look at a flood watch that's been issued for us with a view right now from the mountains looking up towards the very cloudy LA basin. We'll be back at 6:27. You're watching Today in LA.
Now at 6:30, after a mostly dry winter, Southern California is getting soaked as the season winds down.
Well, the first of two storms is hitting right now, hitting this morning. That second system could bring major concerns to our burn scar areas. Belinda and our First Alert weather team are tracking the big changes.
Plus, several Southern California colleges are put on notice. The government warns them to protect students on campus. Find out what's at stake and the new measures by UCLA to combat anti-Semitism.
Today in LA at 6:30 starts now.
Good morning. It's Tuesday, March 11th, and this is a look at the First Alert radar tracking rain falling across Southern California with an even bigger storm on the way. Thank you for joining us, and good morning to you. I'm Major Narambulo.
And I'm Lynette Romero. We are so glad you're here with us because we're going to get you ready, and Belinda's going to tell us how.
Hey guys, it is Tuesday. We've got rain in the forecast almost every single day through the end of the week, and it's because of two systems. The first one is the one that we're going to experience today, and this one is to the south. You'll notice how it's pushing all of this moisture inland from the ocean. Right now, we've got that rain mostly concentrated over the Inland Empire. Look at it, it's coming down light to moderately. The yellow and even the orange indicating some heavier rainfall rates. So the roads in the Inland Empire are going to be very slippery this morning. Things over LA County are dry for now, but I'll take you over to Ventura County where you see all that moisture offshore. That's going to be pushing inland. So these showers are moving from the south to the north. The view right now from Mount Wilson showing all that cloud cover. So even if it's not raining over your area, it's going to be gloomy and it will be chilly. The temperatures this morning are in the 40s, and in the mountains 23. Remember when we had those 70s? That's long gone. Highs today are going to be in the 60s and 50s. Now just ahead, a flood watch that's been issued over the area and the rain amounts expected. Right now, here's the drive with Robin.
The 70s long gone, but the traffic here to stay. In fact, it's going to get heavier. We're checking out the East LA interchange with Julia Dang in News Top 4. Julia.
Robin, we've got a minor issue here. This is going to be on the northbound side of the 5 freeway going into the East LA interchange. You can see these two semis. They're pulled over on the shoulder for now, but if they do get a tow truck out here, that could end up taking away one lane. For now, this is moving. You don't need an alternate, but definitely heavier on the northbound side of the 5. You are fine on the southbound 5 coming out of the East LA interchange. Back to you, Robin.
That is great news. Thank you. Your drive time for the 5 here from Downey to East LA, we're almost at 30 minutes for the average, so continues to pick up. The 101 leaving East LA heading toward the 134 split, 22 minutes and growing. And no major issues, no traffic alerts here. The 60 moderate crowding can be expected. About a 33-minute trip from Diamond Bar to East LA. I'll take it. That's decent. We'll check more coming up. Adrienne Lynette, back to you.
All right, Robin, thank you. 6:33 right now. Will UCLA announce a new initiative to try to stop anti-Semitism on campus? It comes after war protests there last year.
NBC4's Michelle Vyas is live in Westwood. So, Michelle, you have some more details about these recommendations.
Yeah, we'll get to that, but also this is a new move by the Trump administration cracking down on universities. At stake is a threat to withdraw funding. We saw that at Columbia, where they already canceled $400 million in funds there, federal funding, accusing the university of ignoring anti-Semitism allegations. So that brings us here to UCLA, where it's going to feel and look different as the chancellor rolls out a new task force. This after last year's ensuing conflict in Gaza led to campus protests, encampments, violence, vandalism, arrests, remote learning, and canceled events and calls for change. So colleges have been under fire for not doing enough to protect students. The task force to combat anti-Semitism and anti-Israeli bias recommendations include training and education, improving the complaint system, assuring enforcement of current and new laws and policies. Also an action group made up of civic leaders from diverse backgrounds, faiths, and perspectives that will report back to the chancellor here at UCLA. This also comes at a time when the U.S. Department of Education's Office for Civil Rights sent out letters to 60 universities that include USC and Pomona College, where protests erupted on campus last year. Also making that list, as you see here on your screen, Chapman University and Santa Monica College. In these letters, warnings of potential enforcement actions if these institutions do not fulfill their obligations under Title VI of the Civil Rights Act to protect Jewish students on campus. UCLA not on that list, but still under multiple federal investigations into alleged anti-Jewish incidents. As you can imagine, pro-Palestinian students and staff and faculty have a lot to say about this. In fact, a walkout and demonstration is planned by two groups that were already suspended last month due to protests and vandalism at a regent's home. That is scheduled to take place on campus at Roy's Quad. So we're going to wait and see how this all develops regarding this news. That's the latest on the UCLA campus. Michelle Valles for Today in LA.
All right, Michelle, thank you. And today, the LA County Board of Supervisors expected to hear results of an independent health study that seeks any potential health risks from the Chiquita landfill in the Castaic area. Now, it comes as Supervisor Catherine Barger called on USC Cancer Surveillance Program to analyze possible cancer clusters in communities around the landfill. Chiquita County has been the target of several lawsuits over its waste disposal operations and odor. The landfill halted operations in January.
The head of LA's DWP says she is worried for her own safety. Now, this morning, the utility will ask the Board of Water and Power Commissioners to approve a $700,000 contract that would provide her personal security. NBC4's Brittany Hope is live in downtown LA with details about this contract. Brittany, good morning.
Hi, Lynette. Good morning. Good morning to everyone at home. You know, LA DWP says that Quinones has been getting security from local law enforcement since the Palisades fire began, but that security has to end because of a lack of personnel. So the department is now arguing the security still needs to happen, and that's why it wants to contract out private security. In a letter from the board, LA DWP wrote in part, since again, LADWP has received numerous threats to the CEO chief engineer's personal safety, some of which have required direct intervention by law enforcement personnel. Documents obtained by NBC4 this morning reveal this would give Quinones security services for 1 year through Pinkerton Consulting and Investigations Executive Protection Services. The price tag is just over $703,000. LADWP did get proposals from two other companies to compare prices. Their contracts came up to over $930,000 and over $1.3 million. So they chose the least expensive. We have reported on the public criticism of LADWP and Quinones in the wake of the Palisades fire. Many who lost their homes questioning why fire hydrants had low water pressure and why a nearby reservoir was empty. I did reach out to LAPD asking for more details on those specific threats. Also reached out to LADWP seeing if they'll speak to us before that meeting happens at 10 a.m. where that vote is going to happen. We're still working to hear back from them at this point. Reporting live in downtown, Brittany Hope for Today in LA.
Brittany, thank you. And we are closely watching Wall Street this morning. It opened just a few minutes ago, and you can see another rough start here. The Dow down more than 130 or 40 points. As you can see, yesterday was the worst day for U.S. markets so far this year. In fact, for some, it was the worst day that they had had in several years. The Dow tumbled nearly 900 points as investors try to figure out what's going to happen next with President Trump's trade war and the tariffs that he's imposing.
Umbrellas and jackets, you're going to need them the rest of the week. The activity today will be light and very scattered, hit or miss. We'll have dry periods and then we'll get a scattered shower. Here we are looking at the weather at noon, looking at cloudy conditions with a few showers. As we head into late this afternoon, early this evening, I see most of that action concentrated over Orange County and the Inland Empire. Now, overnight through tomorrow, most of the day, we'll have more of that activity. It's going to be very scattered, hit or miss. So this is all part of storm number 1. Now, we get into tomorrow evening. And now we start to see the first instances of that second storm, because if you're at home by 7 p.m. tomorrow evening, you're going to be good. But if you're on the roads after that time, then you're going to be slammed by this heavy rain. Now, this is a second storm system. It arrives late Wednesday through Thursday morning. Look at this. In the very early morning hours on Thursday, we're going to have that heavy rain. That one has the potential of bringing some flooding, mud, debris flow. We're going to still see some of that leftover moisture on Thursday morning for the drive, and then the rest of the day Thursday we're looking at some scattered activity. Now, as I mentioned, that heavy rain expected to cause some flooding, so I'll be back to take a look at a flood watch and also winter storm watch for the mountains. Guys, back to you.
Right. Thank you, Belen. Well, the LA County District Attorney withdraws a recommendation to reduce the sentences of Lyle and Eric Menendez. Coming up, we're going to talk with legal analyst Royal Oakes to find out where this case stands right now.
Plus, this announcement just in this morning, Southwest is shaking up air travel with a major change that's sure to leave flyers feeling grounded.
Plus, Dodger superstar Shohei Ohtani takes his game to the next level. Discover how the MLB legend is now making history in the gaming world.
As your morning commute is picking up, we are staying on top of all the trouble spots. We have a new one here, a crash involving a pickup truck that flipped over on the 91. We'll have details coming up after the break. Stay with us.
Have they accepted complete responsibility for their criminal actions? They have not.
That is LA County's District Attorney Nathan Hochman making the announcement yesterday that he's withdrawn a recommendation to reduce the prison terms of Eric and Lyle Menendez. The brothers are serving life sentences for the 1989 Beverly Hills murder of their parents. So, what comes next in this case?
For more context, we wanted to bring in legal analyst Royal Oakes to break it down for us. Royal, thanks for joining us this morning.
My pleasure, Adrian.
Right, so what stands out to you about Nathan Hochman, the DA's reasoning for withdrawing the resentencing recommendation, and how damaging is this for the brothers?
Well, the first thing is that it's a real classic good news, bad news situation for the brothers. It's very bad news in the sense that a few months ago, when George Gascon was the district attorney, he wanted them released. And when the DA joins the defense attorneys saying, let these folks go, that's powerful. The judge looks at it and says, that's a no-brainer. You're going to be released. But we have a new DA, and there's a very different perspective by Nathan Hochman. And as we know from his nearly 1-hour press conference yesterday, he's saying, I agree they should be released, but only if there is total remorse, if they accept what they did and acknowledge that this self-defense argument was a crock, was illegal, and they had no basis for making that contention. Now, are they going to say that? We don't know.
So Hochman left the door open for this reconsideration that you're talking about if they fully admit guilt. And then he also kind of went down the line of all the things that they have said that have been lies. He wants them to retract all of those lies. Can you be specific about what he's looking for here?
Yeah, what he's looking for is for them to say, all right, we've been lying for decades. We said it was self-defense. What's self-defense? Well, that's when you kill somebody because you feel you are in imminent danger of being killed yourself. And that's not what happened here. We all know they shotgunned their parents while the folks were watching television and eating ice cream. Now, the most dangerous thing about ice cream is a brain freeze. And that isn't just a stupid joke on my part. The fact of the matter is you can't claim self-defense unless you can show that right then, at that moment, you are in danger of your life, and therefore you shotgunned them. If they thought the parents were going to try to kill them in an hour or the next morning, that's not self-defense. And Hochman's big point is that the brothers have been peddling this lie that they felt like they had to shoot their parents and had to act in self-defense. And what he's saying is, if you will sincerely accept what you did, show remorse, and acknowledge that the self-defense argument had no basis, then I would support that sincere acknowledgement as a basis for releasing you. The problem is, if they do make that sincere statement in a month or so, is the judge going to believe it? Or is the judge going to say, you've given interviews recently and you didn't turn your back on the self-defense argument then. Is this just a way to get out of prison? So that's the dilemma facing the brothers.
And Royal, can you clarify what happens next? Because there is another upcoming hearing. What's going to happen there?
Right. So March 20 and 21 for some time now has been designated as the two-day hearing when the judge would explore these issues we're talking about. The fact that Nathan Hochman has injected a new element, a new position by the DA, means probably, I think that hearing is going to be put off a month or two, and that'll give the brothers with Mark Garagos, their lawyer, time to decide, what are we going to do in response to Hochman's statement? How are we going to say sincerely that we accept what we did, we acknowledge it was wrong, we are totally remorseful, and we admit we lied in many ways, including trying to claim self-defense when that wasn't a viable defense.
Right. Okay, so what do you think? Does this increase pressure on Governor Newsom to take more action in this case?
Yeah, you know, we're talking about this self-defense resentencing angle, but there are two other avenues for freedom. Number one, they could get a judge to say, oh, there's new evidence and people wrote letters about abuse. That could give them a new trial. Nobody's betting on that. But Gavin Newsom could, as Hochman said yesterday, he could today snap his fingers and say, you're out, you're free. Now, will he do that? He's taking steps to make it easier to get clemency, but we don't know what Newsom's true feeling about clemency for these brothers is. Now, cynics say Newsom's doing a lot of political things. For example, he went on a conservative podcast recently saying, oh, I don't think men who say now that they're women should be able to compete against women. Is he also going to use a political prism in deciding whether to release the Menendez brothers? We really don't know, but he's the decider. If the governor wants these guys out of prison, they're out immediately.
Wow, interesting.
All right. Well, legal analyst Royal Oakes, thank you for sharing your insights with us this morning. We appreciate it.
Thanks.
All right, we'll see you soon. Coming up on the Today Show, the Menendez brothers' attorney, Mark Garagos, he will talk about the new development and where the case goes from here. That starts at 7 a.m. right after Today in L.A.
New this morning, a major change is coming to Southwest Airlines in an effort to increase profit. The low-cost airline is doing away with free checked bags. Now that means starting May 28th, prepare to pay. The only exceptions are if you are flying in the top tier fare class or you have a Southwest credit card. Southwest also announced this morning that it's going to launch a new basic economy fare.
All right, 6:49 right now. Well, Dodger superstar Shohei Ohtani has basically done it all, right? He's won MVPs, a World Series. He was the first player ever to have 50 home runs and 50 stolen bases in a season. Well, now he's entering a new domain, Fortnite. Ohtani will be available on the popular Battle Royale video game. Fortnite tweeted out this video of Ohtani's character launching a home run, of course. And then this is like another side to the Ohtani character. This is Samurai Shohei. He is the first Major League Baseball star to be in the game. His character is available to players online starting next Monday. So he continues to break.
So interesting. I wonder if he plays Fortnite. You think?
Possibly. If he didn't, he will now, right? If you have your own character,
you gotta try. All right.
Oh, and Decoy's in it too, I should point out.
Oh,
he is? Oh my God. So then he's gonna probably.
That's what I think. Sure. Decoy needs an agent at this point, right?
For sure. For sure.
All righty. Well, get your dog walks in early. Find a few breaks in the rain because we've got storm number 1 right here in our neck of the woods, and you can see all of this moisture that's moving inland. Right now, we have very scattered showers from storm number 1, and it's not going to be a huge issue. Now, this is just one of 2 storm systems that we're tracking. The second one is going to be the stronger one. That one is going to be mixed in basin with very cold air and an atmospheric river. So we have the potential for flooding and some heavy mountain snow. So here's what you can expect. Storm number 1 happening today. Scattered showers, much colder, highs in the 50s, but the accumulation's less than ½ an inch. Mostly beneficial, but it will impact travel. The roads will be a little slippery. Now, storm number 2, that gets here late Wednesday. The main impact will be in the overnight through Thursday morning, but it's going to linger all the way through Friday. Rain accumulations 1 to 2 inches, so higher amounts, especially in the mountains and foothills. So we have the potential for some flooding. And in the mountains, we're going to have that moisture mixed in with cold temperatures. So heavy snow is on the way for the mountains. So travel will become very difficult. So here's the flood watch. Not issued for today, not expecting any flooding today or even much of tomorrow. It's going to be very scattered. But when that heavy rain moves in late Wednesday through Thursday afternoon, that's when we could see some flooding issues. And you notice that this flood watch covers most of our recent burn scars. That is the yellow outline. So we've had, unfortunately, a lot of fire activity in Southern California over the past few months. Those hillsides are just charged from any vegetation. So that rain falling in that area is just going to slide off of the hills and unfortunately bring us that risk for debris flow. So if you live near those recent burn scars, you have to be extra vigilant because that heavy rain will be moving in the overnight hours. Now, today and tomorrow, it's going to be challenging to travel into the mountains, but you want to avoid it, especially Thursday and Friday, because that's when we're expecting the heaviest amount of snow to fall. Bring the chains with you. You're going to need them. A winter storm watch has been issued late Wednesday afternoon, all the way through Friday. Notice that's almost the same time frame as the flood watch. That's because that's when we get that second storm system. So we're going to see accumulations at resort level 1 to 2 feet, but that snow level will be dropping to about 3,500 feet. So that means, especially Thursday into Friday, we could see a dusting to up to an inch at the Grapevine and possibly even some impacts to the Cajon Pass. So your 7-day forecast the rest of the week will require jackets and also umbrellas. The weather starts to dry out over the weekend. The temperatures warm a few degrees, and then we have another storm early next week. The valleys, the Inland Empire, scattered showers today, most of the day tomorrow, and then we'll have that heavy rain move in late Wednesday through Thursday morning, and then Thursday afternoon through Friday, the activity is scattered, and that's when we have the potential of getting some thunderstorms. The high desert, we're just going to throw everything at you. You have the chilly temperatures, the wind, and also the chance for showers. The low desert, you're going to get rain this time around. And we're going to have rain and snow in the mountains. We're going to get to the snow when the colder temperatures move in late Wednesday into Thursday and Friday. We're going to see some treacherous travel up there. So bring the chains and make sure you have that emergency kit in your car with blankets. And be safe, everyone. Now, here's Robin with traffic.
Good morning. We heard about a crash on the 91. We sent Julia Dang a News Chopper 4, and here it is. Let's check in. Good morning, Julia. What's happening?
Hey there, good morning, Robin. Not even 10 minutes ago, the eastbound 91 was at a complete standstill. They've got this crash pulled over now on the shoulder. You can see all lanes back open. Looks to me like there was this pickup truck involved. There was a sedan over here and then 2 SUVs. They had 2 ambulances here. Fire department, they just cleared out. You can see we've got a little bit of looky-loo traffic. Again, this is going to be on the eastbound 91, just past the Central Avenue on-ramp, but no lingering traffic impacts. That's the good news. Back to you, Robin.
All right, that's good news. Thank you, Julia. And at least that crash is out of the way as we take a little peek at the drive time for the 91. We're looking at about 23 minutes to make your way between the 5 and the 110 split. So that's still not bad at all. Your commute on the 405 definitely picking up, much heavier right now without any major issues. We are just under an hour for your northbound trip to make it out of Los Alamitos from the 605 to the 10 and the 105, one of your other major connecting arteries over to LAX. Not bad, moderate crowding at 36 minutes for your westbound trip from the 605 split out of Norwalk to the airport. Today in LA returns after the break. Stay with us.
6:57 right now. Our first alert weather team is tracking a storm heading for Southern California, and the big wave of this hits tomorrow.
Now, residents living in burn scars are urged to prepare. NBC4's Lauren Coronado is live in Malibu with an update. Lauren.
Lynette, Adrian, good morning. No rain just yet. We are feeling some breezy conditions, though. I want to show you some neighbors already started preparing with K-rails. You see those orange barriers, and these are sandbags from the last storm, too. In fact, they put out 400 sandbags last month. There's still time to prep if you haven't already. A lot of folks are picking up sandbags to divert water and debris away from their homes. A good reminder to make sure your car is in good working condition. Don't attempt to cross flooded roads. We've recently seen cars get stuck in mud flows and thick mud. Now, some signs to look out for when it comes to landslides, because that's a big concern for folks who live in the burn scar areas. Look out for widening cracks in the ground, bulging at the base of slopes, and tilting. I'm talking about tilted or moved trees, fences, utility poles, and retaining walls. Just something to be aware of. Of course, this morning we're already seeing Caltrans right here along PCH, making sure that so far no debris are falling onto roadways. Reporting live, I'm Lauren Coronado for Today in LA.
Lauren, thank you. At 11 a.m. this morning, the NTSB will hold a news conference to give a live update on the recent mid-air collision near Reagan-Washington National Airport on January 29th. A Black Hawk helicopter and an American Airlines flight collided mid-air over the Potomac River, killing everyone on board both aircrafts.
All right, well, today we're going to have much colder temperatures, a chance for some light showers. When it does rain, it's going to be scattered, hit or miss. And when it's not raining, it's going to look like this, very gloomy. Temperatures today in the 50s. But again, the main event is going to be late Wednesday into Thursday. That's when a flood watch will be in effect, and we have a higher risk for flooding. We'll continue to update you. Have a great day. Always keep your face towards the sunshine. Hey, Robin.
Hey there. Good morning. Just a reminder for folks to be careful out there on the soggy roads, and do not forget your headlights and your wipers. Traffic is picking up. So the 10 in the westbound direction, we're 35 minutes from East LA to the 405 and 37 minutes for West 105.
All right, the news doesn't stop here. The Today Show's next.
We continue with Today in LA streaming on NBC4 Los Angeles News streaming channels. Just scan the QR code right there at the bottom of your screen to start watching. We hope you have a great day.